Good morning, everybody. We're ready to get started now. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in today and watching the presentations. This is actually our 10th Compassionate Shark Tank pitch competition. So it's pretty awesome. You know, the veterans have been working hard this semester and they're real excited to share with you their presentations. But first I would like, I wanted to introduce the judges. So we have Adria Starkey. Adria, you're muted.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm Adria Starkey. And first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for serving our country. That is of utmost importance, and we are very, very grateful. We're excited to be here and judge. I'm the president of Finemark Bank for Collier County. I've been in the financial services industry for a very long time, but I've also done some other things in real estate and some other entrepreneurial ventures. So I'm always intrigued by what you all are doing. Thank you.
Thanks, Adria. Next, we have Fred Quinn.
Well, good morning, and I echo the same to all of you for your service. As a veteran myself, I know what you've sacrificed and have gone through. I'm the retired founder and CEO of a specialty chemical company that made coatings for everything from automotive refinishes when you had your car painted in a collision, to protective coatings for the Alamo, and if you're a gambler, for MGM in Las Vegas. It's a great privilege to be with all of you today, and I'm excited to hear your verbal after these rather well-written presentations.
Thank you, Fred. James Hardenbrook.
Good morning, everybody. My name is James Hardenbrook. I own the Frozen Chosen, and we make liquid nitrogen and ice cream out of a food truck. I'd like to thank you all here for giving your presentations. This is exactly where I started, so it's an exciting time for everyone to be able to showcase what they got. A lot of interesting ideas, and look forward to hearing them. Also,
James,
thank you.
When did you start? What year?
2016, I believe, the very first class.
Awesome. Thank you, James. And last but not least, we have Jerry Starkey.
Thank you. We appreciate all of you participating. The write-ups really were very well done, and we look forward to hearing your presentation. I also would like to thank you all for your service. I have spent 35 years in the real estate development, community development, and corporate world. I've acquired a lot of companies. I've done a lot of M&A, and I look forward to hearing your ideas, and thank you for being a part of this program.
All right, thanks, Jerry. Well, like I said, the veterans are they're ready to get started and share what they've been working on. So first up, we have Kevin Bottino.
Good morning. My name is Kevin, and I am a certified professional resume writer and proud founder and lead writer for Collab Résumé. Collab Résumé is our family veteran-owned and operated small business. We provide personalized, customized, and collaborative resume and career transition services to veterans and civilian professionals of all levels and all industries. I am a Air Force veteran, having served our nation for over 25 years, and have a strong focus on serving and supporting others. My experience over the past few years as a full-time freelance resume writer built a model for success with over $185,000 in revenue earned to date and hundreds of clients placed in new employment. My passion and success, along with the strategies gained from this course, set the path to confidently launch Collab Résumé. Over the past several years, job search and job application processes fully transformed to online and virtual settings, equating to uncertainties in automated candidate screening and a globally competitive workforce. In the US, over 200,000 veterans transition annually, with 10 million Americans seeking employment. COVID doubled unemployment rates. There is a greater need now for services to help transitioning professionals. Meanwhile, existing resume companies lack the personalized support needed in a changing environment. Our veteran and civilian workforce deserve experts to help navigate globally competitive and highly complex job markets. For Collab Résumé, we are at client capacity already and need to grow to support the increasing demand. This was another driving force behind my desire to officially establish Collab Résumé and grow further by hiring veterans as new writers. While we support all professionals, our target clients include veterans and professionals in the age range of 25 to 45 years old. Most are college educated, mid-level managers to director level leaders. Our competition can be categorized into three groups. Free services like Hire Heroes. Their writers are often volunteers with no experience and use outdated templates and old writing styles. Resume mills. These are cheap services with a one-size-fits-all approach and little to no interaction. An example there is Top Resume. Then we have freelancers. Most are part-time writers who often lack experience, especially writing for veterans. An example is My Creative Resumes out of Orlando. Our process is preferred. We offer client-centric services, ensuring the process and experience is personalized, customized, and collaborative. From lead generation and initial engagement, a client communicates directly with their writer. Discussions are open, live, and ongoing throughout the process. The client is the focus and a contributing member during all writing and revisions. Once services are complete, we enter support mode to help clients throughout their transition. For marketing, we leverage LinkedIn ProFinder as our primary lead generation and client engagement source. Typically, we see 10 to 20 leads daily, which varies seasonally. As our client base grew, our referral rate grew from 5 to 12% in the past 2 years. We also have over 110 reviews on LinkedIn, which attracts new clients. Digital advertising has been successful. Last year, we invested $1,000, which yielded a 3-to-1 ROI. Notably, our marketing strategy must change since ProFinder leads are no longer an option. We must look to alternative sources for future leads and client engagement. Our future marketing plan incorporates strategic digital marketing to gain a stronger market presence and wider reach. We will connect with veteran organizations and programs, colleges, universities, employment and career transition networks, and attend job fairs. To support more of our nation's unemployed workforce and support more veterans, we are looking to grow our writing team. We want to hire veterans and veteran family members to extend our capabilities. As lead writer, I will train and mentor each new writer to become successful in the most opportunistic markets. Financially, our annual spend sits around $10,000, with revenue increasing from $32,000 to $80,000 in just 3 years. Each writer is a revenue stream. To ensure writers are paid appropriately and inspired to stay with our team, writers earn the bulk of the service fee, with our company pulling simply $49 per client to cover administrative services and expenses that support the writing team as a whole. This flips the script as writers with other companies receive a small portion of the service fee as the company takes the bulk. Our limited overhead and team approach ensures writers earn what they deserve, which will keep them from becoming future competitors. With this revenue generation model, building just a 5-person writing team over 3 years delivers over $380,000 in company revenue, which each veteran on track for over $100,000 annually at maturity. As such, revenue grows as the team grows, along with attaining a nationwide reach. To cover initial expenses and achieve a larger reach to support veterans, we're requesting $15,000. The bulk, $9,000, will deliver a strategic digital marketing approach spread across 12 months to drive clients to our new writers. The remaining $6,000 covers added services and training costs associated with employing veterans over the next 12 to 36 months. With your funding, we reach a greater audience, support more people with their transition, and put more people to work almost immediately. We can hire veterans to support more veterans and other professionals nationwide. What questions can I answer for you?
Wow, great job. Judges, do we have questions? I'm happy to start. Kevin, Great job. Thank you so much. Could you talk to me a little bit more about the training that these people go through?
So I'm going to leverage my own experiences to train them as what we found with veterans. Let me back up shortly. What we found with veterans, myself, others that I grew up with, others that I know, others that I've supported in resume writing, is that because we are so heavily into writing in the veteran community, performance reports, decorations, things like that, that is the type of writing that translates so well and so easily to writing resumes. Therefore, training really is just about teaching them how to interact with people, how to extract that information from clients, and now being able to translate that into the professions and the targets that they're going after. So the training program is going to be 2 to 4 weeks. It's really going to vary depending on their initial experience and how rapid or pace that we need to put them through to get to where they feel comfortable enough to genuinely take care of clients, knowing that I'm always in the back seat, overseeing and here to support them throughout their process and throughout their own growth and maturity to become essentially a master writer.
And what percentage of your new clients are from referrals from existing clients?
Right now, or last year it was, 2020, it was 12% of existing clients. And that was off of, we had, I believe, over 300 clients last year, 260 clients last year. This year we've seen, I want to say it's almost 20 in the 20% range. Granted, we've only been a couple months so far this year, but referrals are coming in almost every week. We're seeing another referral or two come across. So they're starting to become more of a regular, more of a what we call a norm.
Right. Fred, James, Jerry?
Sure. Kevin, again, very well done and presented, and I enjoyed your reach out to me to join you on LinkedIn, so I applaud your rapid response. I don't know if my picture's coming up. I am seeing you, Adria. When I look at the business, I'm directed to ask, is this a potential franchise business? Is there a limit where you're going to max out the number of people you can manage and subsequently must build more administrative staff? Might it be a strategy for you to create a franchise opportunity?
Wonderful question, wonderful idea. I'll give a little shout out to my mentor, Mr. Ron Wilson. It's something that he and I have actually been talking about in terms of our long-term strategy, long-term growth plan. Franchise is an opportunity. It's an option, something we consider. I do recognize that I have my own limitations of how many I can train. The initial thought is almost a hierarchy, to where as I train a certain amount of initial writers and they grow and become what we'll call master writers, they are then training others. And so you essentially are able to build a true nationwide reach. Right now, our projections show if we were to have 21 full-time writers, we could essentially cover all major areas that have the highest unemployments and the highest need for resume writers. However, looking at the numbers, 10 million Americans unemployed, it's a stream that's just endless. I could see us growing even further to where, again, perhaps franchise comes into play, where people are taking on their own version of Collab Resume and running with it in their territories.
Other questions?
We're actually at the 4 minutes. Unless we have one more question, we're going to keep moving.
Oh, I'm good. I just want to say I can see exactly where you're coming from, being prior military, not knowing how to write a resume, and then hitting the sets and tabs class. They give you the free 1 hour training and out on your own. So
just enough to be dangerous, right?
That's right. So I see where you're going with it. I like the idea. It's good job.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Good morning, all. My name is Tom Slaughter. I'm with Cape Land. Cape Land is a land planning firm located in Cape Coral, Florida. And what we do is property entitlement. You may have occasionally see signs on the road that talk about a rezoning or a special exception or a plan amendment. I'm the guy who brings petitions of that forward. In going through my project, Oh, this is not my presentation. This is an old one. Okay. This is not my presentation that I downloaded.
Give me 1 second. I'll pull
Yeah,
it up.
Troy, this is not what I downloaded to Google Drive. This is from like a month ago. I do have it on a thumb drive. Should I? It was up there, but if that's the old one.
Yeah, if that's the old one. Did you send it to?
Yeah, I sent it 2 days early, believe it or not. I've got it on a thumb drive. I mean, it's in the Google Classroom. If you go to where we were supposed to submit them, that's where it's loaded on.
Troy, do you want to move on while
Yeah,
I
let's
figure
do this.
out?
I'll put it mine on a thumb drive and
I got.
the old-fashioned way.
Sounds good.
Hey, I got it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, now it's up. Okay.
Just scroll with the Tom.
Hey, Lucas. Oh, Troy, you're going to do the scroll through?
Yep.
Alrighty. First hiccup out of the way. Again, my name is Tom Slaughter. I'm with Cape Land. We do land planning locally. I've been doing that for quite some time. Troy, if you'd move to the next slide. My background, I was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and if you're into personality assessments, I'm an ENTJ. And I say that because I think it's a good predictor of both who I am, but more importantly, my success and how that's led to that. When I joined the Army, I looked at everything from the Peace Corps to the Marine Corps, and I evaluated all of it. And I think that's pretty much who I am as a person. Is I like to study things, I research them, I fix them, I learn about them, and I move on. So I did have an opportunity to join the Army. I went in Army College Fund. I was able then to go both to college as well as grad school. Took urban planning classes, some political science, but the big takeaway is when I was in college, both in undergrad and graduate school, I did internships. I did 2 up in Minneapolis, 1 in St. Paul, 1 for a planning council. And then down here, I did 1 for the Southwest Florida Regional Planning Council. I was at Florida State. Through that time, I also secured professional membership through AICP. Essentially, what that allows me to do is I can be at federal and state court and qualify as an expert witness on local land use matters. I spent about 20 years in government, had an opportunity when you come in with a master's degree, you're not quite starting at the bottom, but you're starting close enough that you have a lot of work in front of you to do if you want to move forward. And I was able to do that successfully simply because I worked hard, being in the right place at the right time, but also doing my homework. So with that, Troy, if you could move to the next slide. What I'm looking for, wow, that kind of formatted it funny. What I'm looking to do in this regards for this class is really take 2 interests, urban planning and real estate, and merge them into one. But the urban planning, I'm looking to do primarily entitlement, and with real estate, I primarily focus on vacant property. But where I really do my homework is at the data level, using geographic information systems. I've been really successful. I'm using pretty much a Google platform, but it's falling short in terms of a customer relations management system. So I'm going to need to do that. But the other thing I do well is I deploy visually video from both YouTube, drone into my actual projects, because it's often hard to make vacant land look sexy. But what you do is if you use blended media, you start taking those video elements with your other traditional elements, blending them together. One, it makes for a much more interesting PowerPoint presentation for your clients, but more importantly, your decision makers have a better idea of what you're doing, and it helps with marketing. Next slide, Troy. Okay, I don't know what that is. So this is a disaster, Troy. Keep sliding to the next one. All right, let's go with the who my competition and clients are. One of the things I've done is when I research for properties, I try to get a pretty good idea of who's bringing in the petitions through Florida Public Sunshine Law. I'm able to research, identify who owns the property, who the developer is, who their team is, go through that. So I have a pretty good idea of who they are. And truthfully, they're a lot like our judges. They're a lot like your typical development community in that oftentimes they're white, they're older, they're affluent. Many of them come from the Midwest, but there are two things. They're all property owners. They work hard and they watch their money. Next slide, Troy. Boy, Troy, this is, do they have a copy of the full presentation?
No.
Okay. Troy, just keep, good, stay on services, but slide it forward a little bit. All right, leave it there. All right, I do 4 things in my line of work. We talked about planning, the entitlement work, but I also do real estate. But again, I primarily focus on vacant land, and I'm not the guy who's going to sit in your open house. Third area, because I have done entitlement projects where I brought them forward through city council, both the planning commission, hearing examiner, and council decision-making process, but I've also bought property and I'm entitling it that way. So I have one project that I'm doing now that I've been paid professionally services for, but I've also invested in bought property as part of that project, and I'll do very well on that. The last is development. My background doing site development plan for the years allows me to kind of move into areas that a typical planner doesn't, and all 4 of my projects that I'd like to do are veteran-oriented, veteran-centric. And with that, Troy, next slide. My marketing and advertising, in going through what I do, because I'm on TV, public cable, for every petition I do with the city or with the county, I utilize that both to opportunity to show who I am, but also upload those videos, edit them, put them on both a website and a YouTube channel. And then I do the same with my other film and work, both the drone and the GoPros, is I'm able to load some of that material up on a YouTube channel. It's pretty interesting. People like it. Most people love the drone. They're very interested in it. Troy, go to the next slide. Oh, there we go. The beauty of it all. All right. So with that said, Troy, do I get like an extra minute? I've only got 1 minute left, but I only need 2 to do it. All right. With that said, Cape Land, it's not a new thing for me because land analytics about 2 years ago I started. Initially, my motivation was simply to have an opportunity to get paid for real estate commissions and to be able to file taxes under an LLC. So Cape Land, when I moved to that simply, and I use this class as an example to pivot, is I found with land analytics, hard to say, hard to spell, doesn't abbreviate well. So the more I looked at that, I love the name. I had already invested time and money into it. But the cool thing is with Cape Land, I still get to keep it because I will be doing property investment. So land analytics to me is X marks the spot on the map. That gives me my opportunity for when I'm smart and I spend my money on an investment. I can do that.
You're good.
All right. Oh, that was my own timer. With that said, I do have one base year under my belt. Last year, I pretty much didn't make a lot of money, but I was able to split about half of it through real estate and land planning. I believe that there'll be opportunities for growth in both, but I'm primarily going to focus on the land planning. Troy, if you flip to the next slide, I'll just jump into it. So what I'm doing is, as I indicated, I'm already utilizing geographic information system. I'm using a pretty poor CRM software platform right now, but what I want to do is to build both of those digital platforms, but then to merge them. That's called new tech. It hasn't been done. The bad news is I thought I could buy something like that, and the bad news is I can't. The good news is I'm an entrepreneurial class and they haven't invented it yet. So that does give me an opportunity to play around with that, especially if I use not just this class, but I take the growth class coming up, the 6-week program, and really focusing on those 2 things. Indicated earlier with the drone work, I do plan on using that not only in professional work, but it lends itself really well to marketing. 4 and 5, the laptop and headset. Essentially, most people, if I ask for one of each, they seem pretty straightforward. But what I do is I call it a clone me. I noticed that in working with people, having different software, having different levels of capabilities, that what I need to do is have one laptop that is a clone, that has a software, that has the essential programs, essentially a lean startup type approach to that laptop, that a person with basic capabilities could sit down on it and start operating at a higher level. Why? Because they know it all? No, because we've connected it for them. Lastly, still need to be a big boy and get my insurance. I'm looking at logo and branding. Certainly with my logo, I do not need that much for a logo, but I plan on doing logo kits and I plan on branding. And what I mean by that is I plan on creating 2 logos, a traditional Cape Land logo, but I also want an older retro logo that looks like I was in business 40 years ago. And I want to utilize that in not just some of my marketing for planning, but my marketing for real estate. And then lastly, my webpage, I call it version 1 because once I'm able to go to the top of the list, the GIS and the CRM, and start running real campaigns, real sophisticated campaigns, I'll need a website that's more robust. So my first ask is simply to get me on, it moves me up from essentially using my LinkedIn as my webpage to putting me in that category. With that, hit the last slide, Troy. Oh, and we're done. With that, do you have any questions for me at this point? Troy?
Jerry, you're muted.
Yeah. So Tom, Jerry Starkey here. Your primary client is a private landowner or a real estate developer who wants to change the entitlements of a piece of property?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 20 years of doing pre-application with those folks. It's interesting because now I'm on the other side of the table, either representing myself, a couple of close associates, or representing clients. This past week, I was at council for the plan amendment. Prior to that, I've spent a lot of time at the planning commission and here in Examiner, again, shepherding those entitlements through the public decision-making process.
Right. So how are you marketing yourself? How are you generating clients?
Great question. Right now, I'm not. Word of mouth. And my broker is also the chairman of the planning commission. So that's led to certain opportunities. But primarily, most of our work has been doing our own work. You know, I've only had 2 private clients that have hired me. And most of the time when I'm hired, these are $5,000 to maybe $10,000 invoice type work. So what I plan on using this program for is to really step that up to that next level. And like I said, when I do my research online, I'm researching large property owners. I'm also going through, because of Florida public records law, every plan amendment, every rezone, every site development plan, I'm seeing who's doing it, who's actually bringing in the work, and who the client is. And it's my intent to start reaching out to those.
But once they've filed a petition, they already have a planner. So how is it you would then provide what service?
No, I plan on being the individual doing the petition.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
James, Fred?
Maybe you could talk a little bit about your financial projections. What's a little bit of the basis that you have these numbers and costs?
Sure. Most of my costs are my time. So as I indicated earlier, I looked at petitions for the most part when you're filing applications with the city, you're starting off at anywhere from about, with the lower level ones, about $1,200 to about $5,000 per petition. Now that equates to, if I'm doing a $5,000 petition, I'm probably going to be charging about $10,000 out. What I do, Fred, is I use a pretty a tried and true a wage classification. So essentially how I charge out, I also use a scope of service. So like when Jerry asked about how do I reach out to people, I use a scope of services which identifies 3 things: what the project components are, what the process is, and then mostly what the costs are. So I may take like a $12,000 bill, break it into 4. So at step 1, you're paying a retainer of 3. Then we get to step 2. Now you're paying another 3. Step 3, then another 3. And that allows them to both go forward with confidence, but also if there's a hiccup or a problem with the project, you can unhinge that future component.
Thank you. And by the way, my compliments on managing the disruption of your presentation. You stoically progressed through your presentation, and well done.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tom.
You know, Tom, one suggestion is you might reach out to the land use attorneys in Coral that representing most of the petitioners, or many, and that would be a good referral source for you.
Yeah, one of the things we did was about a year ago when COVID first hit, we went through a couple of different databases, but I've got a list of every attorney practicing in Southwest Florida, Collier County, Lee County, Charlotte County, and then more importantly, I have their specialties. And I do have a relationship with several of them just because of the years I've been doing this. And so we've got to, you know, in other words, I'm able to reach out to those people, but part of it was also what type of work do you want to do? Because I work with another individual who does much higher level advocacy work. And these are when there's litigation involved. So again, having some, and I use him to essentially inoculate my petitions. If he's the guy who's going to beat the heck out of me in a public hearing and try to get it denied, well, I want to get some of his thoughts in at the beginning of my project of how we can survive that first engagement. Let's face it, the neighbors, the not in my backyard, council members who want economic development but don't know what that really means. So that's a great idea. I appreciate it.
Good morning. I'm Daniel Dzuiba, your mobile vintage mechanic. My business is Mobile Vintage Motors. My background is about 25 years of automotive maintenance, repair work, restoration, modifications. I was an Air Force veteran on Sikorsky helicopters, and I worked as an electrician. In November of this past year, my wife and I moved down here, and I drove my '78 Pontiac Firebird down, pretty much loaded with all my belongings, and we settled into the Fort Myers area. Immediately I looked up at the weather. The weather was great down here. Started going to weekly car shows, and the car shows 7 days a week, and up to 300 cars a night at some of the Saturday night shows. There's a huge demographic for vintage cars down here. And I realized that moving down, and I started asking these people, where do you go for your work? You know, because I have my car, where can I go for carburetor parts? And where do you go for alignments? You know, that type of work. So that leads into the problem as far as where do people have their vehicles worked on? You know, do you go to, and as far as having problems with, you know, you store it, you have people that come down here that are basically just down here for the winter and then go back up north for the summer, and they need to keep their vehicles rolling. They need maintenance. They need their batteries, electrical systems up to snuff. They need the proper lubrication and oils. And then another problem that I noticed when talking with people is they had a lack of qualified technicians or in this area that worked on classic vehicles. A lot of the older people are retiring and they're not being replaced. So the competition as far as this local area, you have about 10 restoration shops that I was referred to and I looked up. And you start calling these people and you ask them as far as having any type of work or maintenance performed on your car or my particular car, and you have to wait. You're waiting, and you know it could be a week, it could be a month, you know, as far as scheduling this type of work. Then you also have local repair shops. They're about the same, you know, they're talented. They work. Some of them do work on older vehicles, but they also have a long time before they get to your vehicle. And you do have quite an array of mobile mechanics down here, but they really stay away from older vehicles as far as the time involved in performing any type of work or modifications or specialized repairs. So welcome to Mobile Vintage Motors. I'm a very experienced coveted vintage car mechanic, and I'm going to be specializing in pre-1990 vehicles. The types of services would be anywhere from vehicle inspections, which I'm in process of looking into the IHRA and local street route associations for safety inspections, storage maintenance, performance tuning. So this works as basically I am message, phone call, and I'll talk with the customer. They'll have their requests, you know, is it a no start or whatever they have, whatever issues they have. We'll talk on the phone. I'll come by. It's $50 to diagnose the problem correctly. And then as far as the specialized parts that would be needed, that could be 25% for a commission. And I charge a $75 per hour labor rate. The scene as far as marketing, I'm organic. Boots on the ground. I hit the car shows. I've made specialized flyers for the shows, handed them out to people, business cards, and then I'm also getting traction as far as learning how to brand and do more organic marketing online. Also, all the financial projections are off of that $75 an hour pay rate, and so far this year, during this program, I've made $600 working this business. My first year is based off of 6 hours per week labor, and then at the end of this year, I'm looking at about $17,000 profit. Second year, so going from 12 to 24 months, I'm looking to double my work per week. So go from 6 to 12 hours billed. And that would be a $35,000 profit. And also as my relationships grow in this area, I'm looking into doing some private contracting with local shops for specialized work, which would go into the 24 to 36 month time period, where my goal by the end of this to have 40 hours a week billed service and $51,000 profit. My total ask to make everything happen for me is $3,900. One paramount issue that I see right away is organization of my tools and a professional appearance for the customer. So a tool organizer for the back of my truck for $1,350, a cap to protect that from the elements, and also possibly offer a good dry and out of the sun work area for $1,750, and then truck maintenance fund to keep my vehicle rolling down the road and making it on to these appointments on time, and eliminating any downtime from week to week, month to month, and that's $800. Impact of the funding, it's basically one billable hour per job that's goes into the basically organizing the tools, having the job, everything set up. So then I have everything in the vehicle. And I started measuring this time when I started working the business, and it has it worked out to about an hour I was saving each job that I was unloading my truck, organizing tools. What do I need for the next job? I could have everything in one place. It would really help as far as getting me rolling with everything. The truck cap, the security.
Hey, Dan, that's time. I'm sorry. Can you wrap it up?
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. This is Mobile Vintage Motors, and I'm Dan Dzuiba. And do you have any questions?
Dan Fred Quinn, part of our automotive refinish business we had that addressed the market that you're after. And it was a rather interesting and very exceptionally profitable market because of its specialty nature. You're billing yourself out at $75 an hour, which is that and sometimes below what the market for standard vehicle repair services are running at. Why not more?
Mr. Quinn, so I'm just getting everything started, and yes, you're absolutely right there. I could be charging more, but I'm also looking at the amount of overhead that I have, and I'm working out of basically my truck. I have no truck payments, and everything's going to be in the back of my truck, and I go to your driveway or garage. As far as raising my labor rates, that's going to be something that's going to be investigated probably more or less between the 12 and 24 month time period. And that would also kind of go into doing any type of specialized work with local shops on certain projects or anything that arises.
One quick additional question. You're talking about focusing on vehicles in the 1990s. Did I read or hear that correctly?
Up to the 90s. Yeah.
And have you quantified what's the population of vehicles that'll fit your market? Assume from Department of Motor Vehicles such numbers are available.
That's a great question. The last 2.5 weeks, I've been playing phone tag with the Department of Motor Vehicles, and I had to basically rely on information from local car clubs and seeing the amount of vehicles that were in attendance or active people in the car club and how they were showing up to these car shows. And also the season as far as the southwestern Florida area. There's a lot of people that come down here for the winter and then they go back up north. And a lot of those vehicles aren't accurately tracked because you go to a car show, you could see the blue plate Florida people around, but you're seeing also collector vehicles from Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania. So those vehicles also get transported. So the numbers could be quite a bit more. And then the other thing is about this is it's a lot of word of mouth, performing quality work, quality maintenance, and I'm going forward with that.
James, do you have any questions? Jerry?
Oh, I just have one thing. As far as going to the car shows, searching out the customer base, things like that, that's an excellent way to go. That's the same way my neighbor started changing over into paint and body work for classic cars specifically. He used to do the insurance jobs and things like that, but he sees a higher profit and spending more time dedicated on the classic cars and refinishing the paint and body on those. So I can actually get you his information. You might be able to link up with him at his shop, providing some of the mechanical repairs also.
That would be excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jerry, do you have anything?
Daniel, I think it's a really robust market. There really are a lot of vintage cars in Southwest Florida, 1990s and previous. Tying on to Fred's question, one thing you might do is just research what the vintage mechanics are charging, because if you're much lower than 20% below the norm, some people might actually say, well, his price is so low, he's not qualified. So if the going rate is $150, maybe you charge $125. And I think it would be worthwhile knowing, because I actually have a lot of friends with vintage cars, and it's like going to a medical profession. When they get their vintage car worked on, they want to hire the very best. And so you want to make sure that your rate builds confidence, although you want to be the price leader among the vintage mechanics. So I think there's a great market. I think you'll be very successful. I assume you have business cards that you pass out.
Yes,
and at some point you might want to develop a website that would make it easy for someone to go from your business card to your website and then to a personal contact to find out more directly. But looks like a good program. I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you very much.
Daniel, I just want to close out. This is Adria, and I just wanted to say I'm not a big car person, but I've been to a number of these car shows because I've been forced to attend. And many people, these cars are their children, and they will spend anything on them. And so I have to concur with what has been previously said. Also, you commented about the wait time at all the other shops that do this work and how you have to wait so long before you can even get serviced. So I think that tells you the market's there. I would clearly take some money and put it to really good marketing, social media, getting the word out. There are these clubs. I would be direct marketing them. I think that opportunities can grow significantly because I'm sure you're right that we just don't have enough people. You have to be good at what you do, but if you are, this business can grow significantly.
And I think you can use testimonials from some happy clients that you've worked with in the past will go a long way in your marketing.
Yeah. The reviews are a big thing nowadays, especially with the online type of advertising.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ismael Penn, founder and owner of Penn Pest Control, a veteran and family-owned and operated pest management business operating from the city of Homestead, Florida. My military experience handling hazmat and also some agricultural knowledge that I acquired through the years in self-education and experience on the job, that helped me to obtain my first certification in lawn and ornamental in pest control. So after that, in the following years, I took some courses in the UF Pest Management University that really helped me a lot to get certified for the general pest control, termites and wood destroying organism pest control, and fumigation. I launched Penn Pest Control in 2010, but I decided to join the Veteran Entrepreneurship Program to have a better understanding of my position as a business owning veteran, and also to learn how to be more entrepreneurial. Here's my family. As you can see in the slide, everyone has a job that they perform in a professional way. We all help each other in order to spot and identify when there is a problem, and also an opportunity to better solve our clients. So some time ago, we spotted a problem. The problem was that we saw that generally people believe that bugs can only be eliminated using chemicals. And as we all know, in today's world, concern over chemical is growing, especially among people that has kids or pets. So another problem that we spotted was that not many companies around us offer a quick, effective, and a chemical-free service. We have found a solution that will offer our clients an alternative to chemical treatment. With this solution, we would like to target a different sector through an online marketing strategy. That is the hospitality sector. Owners and property managers of Airbnbs, hotels, motels, private homeowners, and mobile homeowners renting out their properties for temporary stays. So nationally, the demand in recreational facility is expected to grow steadily within the 4 to 5 years. Florida is the nation vacation hotspot, a unique place in the mainland US with an influence persistent even through the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic, the Florida Keys, they shut down totally the operation. But after reopening in June 2020, we saw that a 95% resurgence was observed. Similar cases have occurred before during the Hurricane Katrina, Ike, Irma, and also with the disease outbreaks that we experienced down here. As we all know, more people means more pets, especially bed bugs. So taking into consideration that all creatures have a thermal dead point, bedbugs, roaches, termites, rats, viruses, bacteria, fungi, all of these, they can be killed at a 100% mortality rate by bringing ambient temperature to anywhere between 120 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. This can be done by using a specially designed propane gas heater. Customer likes a chemical-free pest control alternative, and that's what we want to offer them. Our competition are the do-it-yourself. The problem with them is that they do not have a complete and clear knowledge of pests. That means that they will spend weeks, even months, trying to find an issue, and they will be using chemicals, something that they don't want to. Also, the big companies like Lynn, Orkin, Terminus, they work on a limited time, and they cannot dedicate the time to clients. They also stack on chemicals. They have callbacks, evacuation, and weeks of treatment protocol. For example, Lynn, they use heat treatment, but they are really limited in some areas. Now, how are we going to distribute the service? Well, the heat treatment service will be distributed using a direct distribution strategy. Services will be performed on site with our own equipment and workers. And because we usually travel up to 1.5 hours on a regular basis to perform our services, in the case that we have to drive a little bit farther than that because of the area that we try to cover, what we're going to do is we try to schedule like 2 days of work so we don't have to be like back and forth. Since our target customer is a sector that we have not targeted before, we would like to start a digital advertising campaign to reach out that target. So because of that, we're asking, in order to expand our line of service, by including also this organic thermal treatment, we will need $12,500. Now, how is it going to be spent? We're gonna acquire the Titan 800 propane heat package, which is $10,200. We're also gonna need 2 more air mover for $650. We're gonna need 6 25 feet mile ducting and also a wire connector. To know exactly the temperature that we have in the facility of the room, we're gonna need also a FLIR 6.5 compact thermal camera for $700. And finally, as I told you before, we're trying to do a digital advertising, so we're gonna need $510 to do that. During the past 3 years, our company has generated an average net profit of a little bit over $60,000. With your help on this expansion and a good target advertising, we know that we could grow our profit to almost $100,000 by the end of this year. And by the end of 2023, we will have a net profit of $183,000. At Penn Pest Control, we all want to thank you for your time. And now I'm open for any questions that you might have.
Ismael, Fred, Quinn, great presentations and a well done write-up. First, a question and then a concern. Question is, what objections have you encountered to this methodology of killing bugs?
With a chemical, you mean? Or
with the heat approach to bring it up to the temperature in which death is ensured. What objections do customers raise or concerns do they raise with respect to this methodology?
Well, so far, the people that we have talked to, they've been willing to do something like that because it's something organic, something natural, and most of them, they want to get away from the chemical, and especially the protocol that we have to go through, spending maybe 1, 2, 3 days doing the treatment for chemical. So I haven't found any concern. One thing that I see is some of the materials that they might have in the house that can get damaged with the heat. And for that, we use a blanket that we can cover those pieces of furniture or anything that they might have. Or if it's something that is not too big, we can bring it outside of the room and heat the room at that temperature.
My concern is that your competition does not have a substantial barrier to their entering into competition with you by using the same method. The low cost of entry could raise an issue for you very quickly as your success is observed by them. Just it's a commentary to be aware, you're going to have people who will imitate you when they see that the cost of entry is pretty low.
I understand that. That's a good point.
Ismael, how much of the treatment is done exterior versus interior? And then how long does the treatment last?
Okay, when you mean exterior, you're talking about the heat treatment, right? We don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know when Truly Nolan comes to my home personally,
yes,
most often they treat the exterior. Occasionally they treat the interior. So how is it with the heat, and how long does the treatment last?
Okay, with the heat, we don't do exterior okay. treatment because usually it's we have to bring the ambient temperature inside the room to send to 120 to 180 degrees to kill especially that what we're targeting is the bed bugs. That's what we're targeting
for the whole room.
Exactly, in the whole room, exactly. So it's not a treatment that we're gonna do outside of the property. It's gonna be on the inside of the property, and we're trying to target the bed bugs with the hospitality sector.
So you're going in more to hotels, not to people's houses. So it's a little bit like a fumigation, except it's at a very high temperature.
Exactly. Yes,
and is there a residual? Is there a residual film or debris after you have your treatment?
No, sir. Not at all. Not at all.
Bugs.
Okay.
So Ismael, great job in the presentation.
Thank you.
And I understand the sector that you're going after. I'm wondering why Truly Nolan isn't using, you said they don't use this heat treatment very often. And I guess I love not having the chemicals. To me, that's wonderful. But the thought of, and maybe in these, if it's a VRBO, it's someone's home, and you go into the room where there's bed bugs and you heat the room to 140 degrees or whatever, you will have some effects if there's art in the room or furniture and things. And so you take liability for all of that, or I guess underneath, I just want to know, why isn't Truly Nolan doing this more and you're willing to do it?
I don't know exactly the reason why they're not doing it. They have done it in different areas. They do it in different areas. But I know in California, this is the treatment that's being used basically throughout the whole state. In Florida, I guess we're more into the chemical. We don't try to get away from the chemical. And that might be the reason. I don't know exactly for sure, but that's my best guess.
Well, bed bugs are a huge problem. If anybody's ever, college dormitory, there's just like lots of really negative repercussions with bed bugs, and they don't go away easily. So if this really works, it could be great. I'm just worried about the repercussions of heating a space to that type of temperature.
What's the frequency? Back to how long does the treatment last?
Okay, it takes from 2 hours. Actually, for example, let's say for the bed bugs, it will kill the bed bugs within 7 minutes. But in order to reach the eggs of the bed bugs, we try to hold it for at least 2 hours, just to make sure that every single spot inside the room get heated to that temperature.
And then my question is, once you're completed with your multi-hour treatment, how long does it last?
You're talking about
if I have a hotel, do I have you treat it every day, every month, every quarter, once a year? Okay, good question. Bed bugs, usually, let's say, if I treat it today, after that, you're not gonna have, there is no protection at all. There is no protection. Anyone that can come in with a new bed bugs, they're gonna start another cycle. And it would take about 2 months for you to discover it. So basically it's an ongoing maintenance that has to be done if they want to be like free of bed bugs the whole time. So do you sell a maintenance contract, or do you do? Or
That's
you
what yes, sir. That's what I'm gonna go for.
And does this machine fit on your truck?
Yes, yes.
Seems like you need more hoses.
More hoses?
Yeah.
Well,
the length of hose didn't seem left.
No, I think that would be enough, because the package brings some already on the package.
Because some of the hotels are 2-story, 3-story, 4-story. You've got to get your hose up and in the hallway, and right.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. We have to do it from outside. So that's one of the concerns that we have to target. How to reach those high hotels. So.
And Ismael, your business, you've been in business since 2010, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And why are you driving 2.5 hours to serve your clients? Have you not been able to build out your business locally, or that's where your home, you started in Homestead? What's that about?
Okay, yeah, we started here in Homestead. And the reason why we have to travel, that's the most that we travel. It's because of the traffic down here in South Florida. It's like really hefty. It's like really bad.
Okay.
All right. Great job, Ismael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good morning. My name is Damien Luten, and it's Massage Designs. Massage Designs was birthed out of a need. Me being a disabled veteran, on March 23rd, 2003, my unit was ambushed in Iraq. After being shot and spending several months in the hospital, my recovery process took a big toll on me, both the physical wounds and the invisible wounds. Suffering from PTSD, separation, anxiety, it caused me to separate from society, my family, my friends, my loved ones, because of the invisible wounds I suffered. So a family member came to me one day and put a camera in my hand. He told me, go out, take some pictures. So reluctantly I did. I grabbed the pictures, grabbed the camera, went out, started taking pictures of family, friends, scenery. The more and more I did it, the more and more my eyes opened up. The me who I knew I could be began to come back alive. I began to reconnect with society, my family, my friends, my loved ones, because of the camera, because of the passion, because of my desire to tell stories through visual imagery. I've been shooting photography for over 14 years, dealing with graphic design as well. I recently graduated from Hodges University with a bachelor's degree in graphic designs. Photography and telling stories is my passion. It brings me joy, it gives me peace, it helps me be who I know I can be. Besides designs, we shoot from everything from infants, weddings, graduation photos, engagement photos, fashion photos. We just love to tell stories through our imagery and to capture our audience attention. The process, what we do is, in initial meetup with my clients, I find out their expectations, their goals, what are their desires, what are they looking for in imagery, in their headshots, and their product shots. What story are they trying to portray to their clients, potential clients, or to their loved ones? So after you find the expectations, we go ahead and execute and make things happen. The competition, when you look at competition, you think about photographers, everyone has a camera in their hand, from cell phones to cameras, everyone gets cameras, easy access. But what sets me apart is though a lot of people have cameras, not many people are telling stories. What I do with my camera is tell a story. Tell a story of who you are. Tell a story of your passions, your dreams, your story, to help people understand who you are, what you represent. One of the things I find is going on, people don't have time to take pictures of their products, take pictures of their family members, or take headshots when starting businesses up. No one has that time because there's not enough time in the day to do what we need to get accomplished. Then also there's that lack of personal connection. We don't connect well with a lot of people. We don't connect well, especially as veterans. You know, we connect well with other veterans, but sometimes it's hard to connect with those outside of our circle. And then again, we have that struggle that to tell our story to a way that, you know, we can tell our stories ourselves all day long, but to tell someone else our stories, it's a little bit hard. So what I do is with my camera, with my graphics, I would be able to tell people stories to a point that it would draw them in and catch their attention. Those who I reach out to are small businesses, startup, parents, couples, veterans, own businesses. We look at small business, what do you think? They need product shots, they need headshots, they need images for their websites. Same thing for startups, parents, you know, from infant pictures, graduation pictures, those holiday pictures, those wedding pictures, those moments, those memories that last a lifetime. Parents want those memories, and I want to be able to help them have a memories, capture the memory for them, along with couples, as they're getting married, going through their weddings, and veterans own businesses. As we in this program, a lot of veterans are starting a new business, starting a new venture, and I want to be able to help them reach their goal, reach their target, and do a great service to them. Because reputation is key, especially as a photographer. As a good photographer, I'm able to connect with my clients to a certain extent that I can go with them through birth, through pregnancies, through holidays, graduation, weddings. It's an endless cycle. Because once you grab that good photographer, that connection you have with them, now you become part of the family. I become a lot of my clients' family members, no matter what size, what race, where they are, because of who I am, because of how I present myself, how I tell their stories. That's how we reproduce ourselves in there. And now through my growth, there's a new niche market is out there, hasn't really been touched or haven't been touched yet. And that's my new series I'm starting off with free to veterans and veterans to tell their stories. To tell the stories of what they do, of who they are, their passion, their desire, their dreams. And this right here will help me and both of us grow together as they're sharing their website, they're sharing on social media, they'll get their name out, they get their product out at the same time, they get my name out as well through my series. Looking at revenue and expenses, on this year I'm on tap of making almost $40,000 through headshots, through weddings, the graduation, and other graphic needs. I'm expected to my goal within about 2023 to reach almost $80,000. I'm asking for $11,345 for a computer. I need a computer to help me to do what I need to do on a more faster pace. The better computer I can have, the more turnaround, the less turnaround I have for my clients. I can produce more work for the camera, better images for my Y series. I can tell the story through my imagery, through my visuals, lights, tablets for easy editing, printers could cut costs and save me money in the long run. My forecast again, with funding, to reach almost $80,000 by my third year in business. Thank you for your time, your consideration. If you have any more questions, I won't be around to hear the final pitch, the final results, because I have a wedding today to actually go shoot in a couple hours. So I'm about to go get busy on my grind and do what I got to do. So I thank you for your time and your consideration.
Great presentation, Damien. I love the way you talk about telling the story and bringing in the emotion to what you do. I think that's what we all hope to achieve when we hire a photographer. I think your presentation was very well done, and I think you'll have a lot of success. How are you generating more business?
So like I said, what happened is with photographers, like I said, that connection we have, and my clients just share their work on social medias, and then people see who I am and through their work. So a lot of times within my family I work with, their friends and their families come to me as well. So it's like, that market that continue to grow. And then through social media, I make posts of my images. I try to do something weekly so everyone can see who I am and see what I'm doing. Keep it present in their face.
Sure. And do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's MessiahDesigns.com.
I'm sorry, what was that?
MessiahDesigns.com.
Great, thank you.
Hey, Damien, Fred Quinn. Do you track repeat customers? Do you have any data that's starting to develop for you as to customers who come back, moving from a wedding to other elements that you're offering in photography?
Yes, yes, I do track my clients, and like I said, once they build their reputation, most likely when they get hired for that first initial project or whatever it is, then they'll stick with me from there on. I have yet to lose a customer, so because they know who I am, they're comfortable with me. Everyone's not comfortable in front of the camera, and so because my personality, who I am, and how I make them feel, they continue to come back to me and refer me to other people.
How's the geography of your market and the people that you're photographing? How far away do you find the furthest to the closest?
I do a lot of travel because originally I'm from Indiana originally, so I have a lot of clients that are in Indiana. I'm recently new to Florida area, so I do a lot of traveling from Georgia to North Carolina, Alabama, around those areas.
Do you see that as that'll be your ongoing world, or do you see that little by little you'll be in with, for example, 100 miles of your home here in Southwest Florida?
Oh no, I would tend to expand as far as my clients will reach me to. Especially with my Vet Y series, my veterans. And there's over 1 million veterans in Florida alone. So you think about it nationwide. I want to be able to tell veteran stories across the nation.
I have something for you real quick, Damien, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
So seeing the shots that you have and the different stories that you like to tell, 5 years from now, who are you teaching this to? Are you still doing it on your own? Are you expediting the process to travel faster to multiple clients? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years, right now, I do have 2 interns, 2 family members, 2 young ladies that have a desire for photography. They love what I do, and they follow me around. They're gonna be following me around today to my wedding. They help me out to learn the craft and to teach them how to do it, get it in this arena at an early age, because even them at their young age now, they have an eye some things that I haven't noticed yet. They can pull out. So I'm building a good team with me right now. So within 5 years, yes, I plan on having Messiah Designs to spread out throughout the nation, and spread out throughout the United States. For I want to travel the world doing photography.
Sounds good. Also, one other, maybe I guess you could say recommendation. I have another friend who's a photographer, and the way that they got started were walk around, take different shots of scenery, but then they would also find different people out and about, and they would just ask them, hey, I need to take a shot here later. Would you mind lining up? I'll take your picture and I'll send it to you. Can I either have your email or telephone number? And if you like it, give it to somebody else. Or let them know who I am.
Right, exactly. And recently, I was out on the a shoot recently. One of the slides earlier seen with a Spider-Man in there, and it's actually happened around time doing prom. I seen a young lady in a nice little dress. You know, mom would have tried to take a picture with the phone and say, "Hold on, I got you. Take your picture right here." I took a picture, edited it to her. She loved it. Gave it to her for free. You know, she contacted me now for graduation pictures.
Excellent.
Awesome. Damien, your passion and your ability to tell the story moves me and gets me excited. So thank you for what you're doing and living and sharing that passion with others. I do hope that you will really keep marketing what you're doing, because I think word of mouth, but also all the online and posting things will make people go, wow, because your photography is unique and it speaks to really who you are. And I think if you stick with the why is really powerful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I visited your website too while you were speaking, and it's a really good website. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello and good morning, folks. I am James Bayonne, your friendly robot entrepreneur and owner of Mental Health Core, a company for your mental health treatment needs. Thank you for your support and time. A little bit about myself. I am a Florida licensed mental health counselor. Prior to forming Mental Health Core, I served at the Department of Veterans Affairs for over a decade. I was responsible to design, develop, and deliver evidence-based mental health treatments to support veterans' readjustment and recovery while living with specific mental illnesses. I incorporated MHC in June of 2020 as a result of the current worldwide pandemic trauma. I knew I had the mental health expertise to treat people using technology, as I had been doing that at VA. The problem is, people do not have adequate resources for mental health treatment and are unable to have access to treatments when needed. The supply and demand mismatch in mental health right now frequently prevents people across the country from getting the help they need. There is a lack of mental health treatment proven to work on treating issues with anxiety, mood, and psychotic disorders. In the state of Florida, there are currently 750 clients for every one counselor, and an average of 547 clients for every one counselor in the U.S. 1 in every 5 Americans suffer from mental health issues, and 35% of those people prefer digital services. Our target customer seeks convenient access to mental health treatment, proven to work, with their specific serious mental illness diagnosis and related issues. He or she is between 23 to 87 years old, with sufficient online skills, seeking recovery and readjustment in their communities. We are a stressed out nation, and I remain duty bound to support it any way I can. So therefore, I launched MHC. MHC is the most readily accessible mental health treatment for customers who want instant access to proven low-cost mental health treatment. We are your source for living a better, healthier life. Our platform is a premier online instant mental health treatment delivery service. We specialize in enabling providers with the ability to get people low-cost and proven mental health recovery care when they need it. We offer an affordable, competitive $89 monthly fee. Our platform provides a mobile 24-hour service, instant sessions, evidence-based treatment, and HIPAA compliance. I built an almost similar delivery system for my local VA in 2007. This prototype provides high-quality, good basic mental health treatment instantly to people when they need. The prototype is still in use, serving several thousand veterans annually and counting. In June of 2020, Mental Health Core was incorporated. In fall of 2021, we plan to launch the Instant Access. Our current competitors include BetterHelp, Talkspace, ginger, and scams. Scams provide unproven and outright dangerous mental health treatments that have flooded the market. These other competitors don't offer compatible matches, and clients aren't looking to waste time on finding proper treatment. Our advantage is immediate access to evidence-based treatments, which our customers will favor due to scientific backing, unique delivery options, and our low cost. Slide 8. Industry analysis. Revenues for this industry exceeded $18 billion last year. The revenue growth rate annually is approximately 3.2% for competitors. In the next 5 years, industry experts anticipate a 2.5% growth rate annually. Total profits for competitors in this industry last year were approximately $652 million. This has resulted in an average profit margin of approximately 3.6%. There are about 4,300 competitors across the U.S. in this industry. Most competitors participating in this industry are small to medium-sized organizations. The marketing strategy for Mental Health Core will include traditional, social media, and online methods to ensure maximum penetration in the industry. Social media advertising for MHC will include Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Facebook. When conferences are available, our firm will seek to participate virtually utilizing current technologies, such as virtual reality software. The current team of MHC is me, Mr. Roboto, James Bayonne, the founder. My brother is Michael Bayonne, the attorney for Mental Health Core. I also consult regularly with my business banker, my accountant, and insurance provider to enable MHC's success. We also aim to use the Small Business Development Center, Service Corps of Retired Executives, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, and the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. Our monthly-based subscription service has a sale price of $89. It costs us $32 to produce this service. Our total profits per unit is $57. For the first year, we project revenues of approximately $81,469. The estimated expense costs will be $41,465. After taxes, we expect a net profit of $27,569. We plan to double our revenues within the second year of operating in 2023. I am asking for $8,500. The requested funds will combine with my savings to pay for AWS cloud service and continuing to prep for launch. I have currently saved up $12,500 for this venture launch. My startup costs are calculated to a total of $24,200. Thank you for your time and meaningful contributions. God bless each of you. Be well.
Wow, James, that was great. That was excellent. Okay, who would like to start with questions? I have one, James. If you could talk to me about EAP insurance. Do you accept insurance?
He will be responding. It just may be in a moment.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Please look at the chats to see his responses, please.
Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you.
I'm happy to read his answers out as well.
I want to make an observation that with the industry margin so low and your business model is generating $57 on every $89, so that's a 64% margin. It seems like a pretty phenomenal business model if you're able to deliver those resources. I did a little math on your numbers, which were well presented. With 81,000 of revenue, that's about 910 months or monthly subscribers, which would be about 75 individuals if they were 1 year subscribers. So I'm curious how you deliver the services to the monthly subscribers.
I can get 3 new clients a week. I'm happy.
So if you can get 3 new clients a week, I can read this on the screen. I understand your acquisition. My question really is, how do you deliver the counseling services? Is it automated? Is there an individual that is responsible for counseling each of the subscribers?
It depends on the client.
I guess what I'm asking is, what does this digital, is it connected to their existing counselor?
So is there a person?
Is there a person? Or is there something that the actual software does to help a person with counseling? I've seen some of those kinds of things.
Others seek a counselor to work with. It can be. So, I think I need a better understanding of self-directed work.
Oh,
I do have some.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It can be licensed. What I'm understanding now is it can be licensed through a counselor who then can then connect digitally rather than in person. So really your client could be the counseling service rather than the actual
people,
individual.
So does your platform link mental health providers with clients? And so if I subscribe, I then go onto your digital platform and I'm connected to a mental health counselor that will assist me based on my individual needs. Okay, I think I understand. I may have missed it. Was there a section in your presentation that said how much money you were asking for?
$8,500.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. No, it's actually.
We're going to send that back. We're going to send you a summary of everyone's at the end of this too.
Yes, okay.
James, is there any regulatory requirements you have to comply with the state of Florida or elsewhere? And your brother, I assume, is managing that compliance? Okay.
So basically, James is only requesting a little more than a third of his capital needs because he's funding a lot of it out of his savings and other sources. So it's always good when the entrepreneur is investing his or her own capital. So hats off to you for that.
I have a question.
Yes, James.
So the prior growth was larger than what expected growth was as far as industry wise. Is there a reason behind that slide? That one there, revenue growth, historical, projected. Okay. Is it projected growth? Is that going to be for why would the reason of the
Why would it go
projected
down?
growth
Why would the
be-
annual growth go down? Why do you perceive that to go down from the historical?
You know, do we have has he put out an answer on that?
Might be a
That may be a typo.
I think he might need you to repeat the question.
No,
We
he's-
do have, okay, I think he does it, but also just to mention, we do have a business plan of everything in words. I know it is unrelated to the questions. And we do have some extra responses written down. I know it's just a little challenge for him to type it quickly.
Just that it was
he's doing well.
historically 3.2, and then we've got an annual growth rate projected to be 2.5. Okay.
I think that, you know, at the end of the day, James, it's an $18 billion business. So if it grows at 3% or 2% or 5%, it's a gigantic market. And I think you're smart to be tapping into it. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for smart people like you to serve this market.
All right, good morning. My name is Dan Penn. I'm the owner of Penn's Designs, where we build classic concealment decor. Let's see here. Arrow down here. Oh, okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay, so there's a lot of crime. It's increasing. We got the statistics here to show us how much it's increasing. Every day you turn on the news and what do you see? You see cities burning. Look at Portland. Look at what's going on in New York. So, you know, we got, if you take a look at it, every home burglary turned violent occurs every 2 minutes, which is to me mind-boggling because I never really thought that was that frequent. And then on top of that, okay, the average response time, okay, 46.9% of household burglaries have an average response time of 11 minutes to 1 hour, which again, mind-boggling. You know, you expect that if there's a crime going on, you don't really know, you know, you make the phone call, you want people to come really quick. And during that time, what do you do? All right, so people go to the gun store. And what do? They purchase a record number of firearms. So in 2020, 23 million firearms were purchased. And so this leads me to my concern. Okay, so I do not see a lot of safes flying off the shelves at stores. So how are these firearms being stored and at their homes when they get them home? And my concern is, I know that a lot of people want to have easy access to it, but at the same time, we want them to have safe access. Okay, so my solution is I quit my job. All right, I love building. I'm an industrial technologist. It's something that I have a passion for. And I see all this stuff going on and I'm thinking, what can I possibly do in order to correct this situation or help, at least help, all right? So I thought about it and I thought, you know, concealment decor, exactly what we just talked about, you know, will help solve a lot of these problems. So I rolled that out in November. I'm safety focused. My product offers secure, quick access and is of high quality. Okay, as far as my sales go, I started out, like I mentioned, in November. Sales were sluggish, as you can tell, and I tried out different venues, and then I went to Flea Masters, and boom, in March, my sales jumped 57%. I've been able to gauge the market, and I'll get to that here in a second. As far as my product lines, I have two main ones that I sell. I do really good with. It's a hinge concealment key holder and a non-hinge concealment key holder. All right, as far as both of them go, the non-hinge is going to be a little bit cheaper. I was able to engineer the hinges out, so it's 70, and then the hinge is 90. Both my gross profit margin is 70% on both units. My competition, I have a lot of it, but fortunately, I don't have a lot in the local area. The closest one I could see was Orlando, Florida, and I have a lot on Etsy. But I will tell you that what distinguishes me from them is I offer a very good, secure product. And also, I'm finding out I've got a little artistic talent, and I've had people just to buy my concealment decor because they like the art on it. And then I have functionality, everything I want to produce has functionality to it, and it's effective. I mean, if it's not fully functional, it's not effective, right? Okay, and so my target customers, as I mentioned earlier, I've done many venues, and over this time, I've been able to develop a good profile. You can see it right here. My main target is the ages 35 to 60. And my location, like I mentioned earlier, I want to stick with Southwest Florida because there's a big demand here, and I don't have to really focus too much on the shipping aspects of e-commerce, although I am out there and I am selling on e-commerce as well. As far as my marketing goes, this is what I've been using. I have spent out of pocket so far in total marketing $688. All right, and I've got my uniform on, so that was part of my purchase. And I'm budgeted to do close to 100 a month in marketing. As far as manufacturing goes, I created my own manufacturing process in my garage. All right, it's 625 square feet. And I found out really quickly that it takes a lot of power to run my equipment. So I actually invested in a solar panel system where I have 600 watts of solar energy and a battery bank. So that helps me not constantly pop circuits, because I'll tell you many times where I will be building something or running a saw and all of a sudden I'm standing in complete darkness. So, so my power, as far as my solar power system, is helping. And then as far as my production capacity, I can do 6 units per day, and that equates to 30 hours per week. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I love it. Okay, revenue streams. I've got e-commerce, and then I mentioned Flea Masters. I'm doing really well there, and I'm going to stick to that for the time being. 3-year projections. Okay, so because I'm in a 625 square foot facility, I'm limited on how much I can make. So when I do my projections, my first year, I'm very conservative. I'm saying my total sales for the year will be close to 50,000 or 50,000. And I'm anticipating a growth of about 10 units a month. And then if I carry that out, I finally cap out in August at 10 units a month when I hit 120 units. So in 2022, I project $115,000 profit in sales. All right. And then that takes me to my 3rd year. In order to grow, I'm going to need to do some construction. All right. Otherwise, my sales again will still be at 115,000. Okay. My funding request, I need an electrician because even though my solar power system works, I still have a problem with being able to run my AC unit and also my dust collection system, which is extremely important because both really help maintain your equipment. I just had an inverter to burn up because it overheated because I wasn't running the AC, I was running dust collectors. So, so anyhow, the next thing would be a router table. A lot of the things that I do require the router. And if I had a good one, the one I've got, I built on my own. And it's not perfect. It does good. It gets me enough to get by and do good cuts. But if I had a professional one, that would really help save time. It would allow me 2.5 additional units. All right. And then my last thing is a Grizzly drum sander, which would improve my quality and also increase my number of units by 4.7. So that, and then there's a summary. So, all right. That's pretty much all I have. Thank you for being here today. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, Dan, can you go back? I'm not sure what your total ask was. I missed that slide.
The total ask is $3,390.
I had a little bit different one.
I did make a little change. I think I had a trailer on there, but after talking to Troy, I felt like, and my mentor, Kina, we felt like it would be better if I did away with the trailer and actually went with the router. I think that's taking a look at the financials and the numbers. I feel that was the biggest bang for the buck.
Hey, Dan, in your write-up, you talk about margins, your gross profit. So I'm going to venture that this is your raw materials subtracted from your selling price.
It is.
Period. But you go from profit margins as you're growing 74 to 93 and then back down to 83. And what's happening there in raw material costs?
If I understand the question correctly, my material cost does creep up. It has been creeping up, and I've got a spreadsheet where I can enter in the new cost. It'll formulate, do all the calculations, and tell me what my current profit ratio is, how much, what my total net or gross sales are. So that's how I make the adjustments. And I will tell you that since I put this presentation together, I went out and get wood or to get some wood the other day, and it's already increased in price by a couple dollars. So
there was an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday that talked about the increase in lumber affecting real estate construction, and you're going to be a victim of that, of wood coming out of Canada.
yes, but I've actually made some adjustments to my process, and instead of using poplar wood, which is more expensive, I went to a number 2 whitewood. And I've been able to develop a process where I've not lost my quality, and it seems like my customers haven't even really noticed. So, and it's a lot cheaper. So actually, I lowered my price as a result of this increase in price, if that makes any sense. And actually, I'm doing pretty good.
What is the average price of one of your decor pieces?
$85.
Yep. And in your projection, your gross margin doesn't allocate any labor for you, correct?
That's correct. I'm doing the labor.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you ever anticipate having the kind of volume that would either merit bringing on additional people to work or contracting out the manufacturing altogether?
Absolutely. I've got big dreams.
Yeah.
So,
I would think in the long run, your online business could be huge. And so at some point, maybe sooner than later, you might ought to think about getting contracts for outsourcing manufacturing. Just if someone called up and said, I want 150 units, you know,
right.
You could take a long time to make them or farm it out and keep, serving your local clientele.
Right. Absolutely. Great.
It's a huge market.
It is.
How are the units secure? Do they require a key? Do they have a thumbprint?
Okay.
How does it?
So
secure?
right now, yeah, my main one is a hinge one. It uses concealment hinges where they're very stiff. I don't put a knob on there, so when it closes, it's actually pretty difficult to open up. Now, as we speak, I've developed a new safety mechanism that will increase the safety even more. And I just want to continue to do that, even up until, I've heard RFID technology, I'm exploring that. But right now, what I'm going to start implementing actually later on today on all my product is a new safety mechanism that's going to be using what I consider it's pull strength. All right. And I'm going to be using magnetism. So I've been researching and determining what the pull strengths of various age groups are, and I'm getting the adult pull strength, and that's what's going to be required in order to open this. So that's my next step. And then again, I'm exploring all kinds of different technologies. And as I grow, I continue to look at those. I'm industrial technologist. I love doing this. I like looking at different ideas, and so I'm like having a blast.
Right.
Dan, wait,
Yeah.
no, time's up. I know, but I have a quick question. So Dan, I'm thrilled that you have Kina as a mentor because she's awesome. I'm just wondering, I think I saw in there where it says 30 hours a week. So why aren't you working more hours?
Okay, good point. Okay, so that's 30 hours of production. Okay, I've got 4 hours of cleaning and maintenance. Then I've got 4 hours of getting caught up on paperwork, and then the rest is sales because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm at the flea market all day. So I'm there from 9. Actually, I start setting up at 8, and I don't get done till 5. So a portion of that. So when I take a look at my total hours, I'm working about 60 hours a week. That's what I'll be doing.
And you're doing your own packaging and shipping, right?
I'm doing everything on a one-man show right now. I'm trying to get my son to come on board, so it might happen.
I think you should start putting those hours in so you have some real numbers, because your hours have, there's a value to them. And I think you should be realistic in your numbers.
And I also think people would pay a lot more for the product you're offering.
Oh, I know we're out of time, but one more question. None of these things have locks or anything that they would be used to keep children out or like keep things safe, right?
Well, I mentioned, I'm adding safety devices to make it extremely difficult. So I'm using what I'm calling now is the pull string. And so basically it would take an adult to remove this in order for them to open it up. And so I am constantly looking at that aspect to find out what I can do to improve the safety of this.
Thank you. That's important.
Yes.
Yes, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Tyler King and I am the owner and founder of Level Up Fun Fitness with Tyler, where my motto is fun fitness is the new normal. And a background about me, I am an Air Force veteran. I served in the Air Force as a security forces member. So I did that for an enlistment period. And I found that when we did the fitness during that time, it was just really grueling. It was just very hard and intense and can even get to a point where it caused injury. So I just knew that when I went across my fitness in the future, I would not want to have that as my type of workout. I wanted to make sure whatever I did something fun and that I would be able to draw other people in as well. That's when I ended up finding out that fitness is my passion. I love working out. I love getting other people fit and helping them do better with their overall health and wellness. I am a licensed Zumba instructor. So ever since 2013, I fell back in love and found the fun and fitness with Zumba. And I became a licensed Zumba instructor. And I ended up getting certified through ACE, getting my group fitness certification so I can teach group classes, and also my silver sneaker certification, because I found that there was a market for the active older adults that their doctors tell them you need to go to the gym, you need to work out. And I was able to serve that population and help them, give them some more time with their grandkids. And my CPR AED certification as well to help people if there was ever an emergency. So what happened in 2020 rocked the world. None of us could ever foresee this happening. We went from doing things one way to having to completely change the way how we do business. As you can see in this picture, everyone's having a great time. They have energy. They're inside with no limits on how many people can be in there. As you can see, there's a lot of people, no social distance. You can have a class for an hour, hour and a half, and you can give each other a hug, high fives, but that is no longer the norm. We can't do that, and I don't know if we ever will. One of the things, as you can see, the ladies there, they're dancing close inside. What we had to do was adjust. We didn't make excuses. I just made an adjustment. Zoom was the next best option to get people back involved and back in community and being able to work out. One of the only problems is, I don't know if you can see Diane Beluccia, but she has her screen on. I mean, how can I interact with her? She has her screen on. I don't know what she's doing. She could be eating dinner for all I know. I mean, I want to make sure she's working out. So I can't help keep her accountable if she doesn't have her screen on. And we know there are some people that are shy, but those are some of the barriers that I ended up finding was that, yes, I can work out in a group, but not everyone is really getting the full engagement. So the classes ended up returning to the fitness center. As you can see, we have the spaces marked out for the social distance. Everyone has a little square. I'm out there like loving it. I have my mask on, but you know what? It just still isn't the same because I found that there were some people that just did not return back to the gym. They just refused for whatever reason. Could be they have some health issues or they just have a lot of concerns about this virus. And that's definitely understandable. So we adapted to the change, but there was still a gap in the market because the active older adults weren't being served and also the people that have underlying health issues aren't being served. So one of the things that I found was the best and safe way to do this was to have an outdoor class where everyone can have a safe distance apart. It's outdoors, have the fresh air. Everyone's able to work out and have fun and be able to have that face-to-face contact and have community without being right on top of each other, but it felt safe because you have the fresh air. You can have a mask on if you want. And there's minimal to no equipment necessary with doing the Zumba dance specifically. So that's one of the best things about it. But still, there are still some people that, you know, were still not wanting to come out. They wanted to feel safe in their communities. So then when I found that the target audience was here. These are the active older adults here. They want to work out. They want to stay fit. They want to be around to spend time with their grandkids and great grandkids. And they want to continue to work out, but they want to make sure that they do it safely. So one of the things that I found is that the people in these communities are not getting out. They're not able to go to the fitness center or even the local one. So I ended up finding out, why can't I, which I am, bring the fitness to their communities, the outdoor classes on location where I could serve them, where they don't even have to go anymore, but maybe 5 minutes to an outdoor center, maybe by the community area here, and then they can just have a nice outdoor class with me. And this helps them. One of the things that I'm going to do is marketing to the community, is Facebook ads targeting the 55+ community. So that way, when I have my Zoom classes, they will be able to have more people in the class, except not just the seasonal people that are in the communities. I make visits to the local communities and call the fitness center, the director, activities director. That way they can send an email to the residents, letting them know what I do and how I can help them, and bringing the fun back to their lives and fitness. We'll have mailers, Gulf Shore, they have spotlight magazines, and also free promos that I can do on location to drum up business and also make sure people are aware of what I'm doing. There's a hybrid delivery of service, so I'll have the outdoor and the Zoom classes. So I have all my class offerings listed here with the price. Average class sizes, about 8 to 15 in season, 4 to 8 out of season, but we don't have to worry about that, because the people that leave, they'll still be able to be in community with their friends on Zoom. And there's a 58% profit margin for the $10 classes that I have. And now is the time, more than ever. People are ready to get out. People want to be involved in community. People are feeling a little bit safer and within their confines of their community, so they're willing to go out. Competition, yes, there is always, but there are physical trainers that are not willing to go to these communities. So that is where the market is open for me. For my projections, for my total revenue, I see for this year, I can do $19,200, and then for the fiscal year 22, I have $43,200 that I'm able to get. And this is with having 10 members and 15 members in 2022, 6 classes a week. And total operating costs, you can see here, the labor, licensing fees, all the things that come with that. These are the costs that are associated with that to run and maintain my business. I have a profit here in $11,176, and then fiscal year 22, I have 31,000 over here. Now for the funding, I will need your help. I'll need about $3,000, and that's going to include the weights, the mats, fitness bands, body bar, yoga block, all of those things will need to be included to have this business operating and running at the full capacity that I expect. And I appreciate all of you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Yes, Tyler, excellent presentation. I really don't have any questions, to be honest with you. Thank you for answering everything. James or Fred?
I thought I read, Tyler, that you were encouraging people to bring their own equipment. Did I read that, or I dreamt it last night?
No, what I will do is I'll have my own equipment, because remember, when you're starting off with a fitness class, you know, people don't really know what to expect. They don't know what is going to happen. So I'll have the equipment. So that's where the funding comes in, where I'll have the equipment ready for them. They can use it. Now, I know some people may be apprehensive about sharing or using equipment. They're not sure who had it. That's why I'll have the sanitizers and Lysols and things like that to clean everything off. And then also encourage them in that time as they're taking the classes. Hey, this is a great class. You see the type of equipment I'm using, you know, feel free to go ahead and get some of your own, you know, and then they can bring it to the classes and have it for themselves. That way they come fully prepared next time.
It might be a side business for you to offer to purchase or bring those products at some discount, so that make it easy for them to acquire it. But with the 20 people in a class, is that right? That would be the max, 20 people?
I wouldn't do any more than 20, because depending on the outdoor space, I wouldn't want everyone on top of each other. I still want everyone to have at least 6 feet distance. Even
the equipment ratio to people works, that you don't have to have 20 barbells.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
And can they do it online as well when you're doing it outdoors?
Oh, certainly. They'll have the online option. So I'll have the virtual classes. So there were 5 classes that are done in person, and then there's one that's virtual.
I love your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
It's infectious. I may now have to start exercising.
Good. Good.
Good morning. I'm Jason Watkins, and I'm the owner-operator of Hero Home Watch. So my background, I did 21 years in the Army as a financial manager, a budget analyst, and a financial business process analyst. I retired in 2019 from the Army, and me and my wife decided to move back home to Southwest Florida, where I originally grew up, so that we could rekindle the relationships that we lost over the years. So I am professionally trained by the International Home Watch Alliance. It is one of only 2 organizations in the country that does professional training. My military background, my keen eye for attention to detail, and I am Lean Six Sigma Black Belt qualified, meaning that I'm always looking to improve on business practices. So my target customers for the home watch business are predominantly 45 to 80 years old. They're American, Canadian, and German. We're looking for the seasonal residents predominantly that own second homes here in Southwest Florida, specifically in the city of Cape Coral. We also intend to be able to provide our home watch services to our local homeowners when they go on vacation in excess of 10 days. So there is a tremendous need in Southwest Florida for professionally trained home watch services. We all know that in the winter months that the population grows when the influx of our seasonal residents get here. However, our insurance companies are actually recommending or requiring that you have some kind of home watch service. You can see the water damage 14-day exclusion is actually written in most homeowners' policies. They may be aware, they may not be aware that they're in there. It's about education. So the market in Southwest Florida, I apologize, but I'm going to take you back to math class here for a half a second and break down some numbers for you. So we're going to look at Cape Coral specifically. Cape Coral has a population of about 200,000 people. Overall, the population in the winter months in Florida on average rises about 5%. So if we use that 5% times that 200,000, that comes out to 10,000 seasonal residents just in Cape Coral alone. And if we look around Cape Coral, professionally trained and active home watch businesses, there's approximately 7. I estimate that at capacity with 2 employees for each one of those 7 businesses can do approximately 700 homes. Now, remember, we had 10,000 homes, and I'm going to divide that by 2 because there's usually 2 people in each home. So that leaves 5,000 homes that are occupied by seasonal residents. 5,000 minus that 700 leaves 4,300 unoccupied and unwatched homes in Cape Coral alone. So I took a look at my competition. There are 7 active and registered businesses that provide home watch services in Cape Coral alone. I intend to position myself in between the better and the best. If you look at the better and the best, they are actually qualified. They're trained by the International Home Watch Association. And one is brand new and one has been operating for quite some time in the Naples area. So what's going to set our business apart is our software that we intend to use. It's QRID-IT, Credit. It is a GPS-enabled technology that when I meet with you in your home, we're going to customize a checklist of all the things that I need to look at and check as I go throughout your home. As I said, it's GPS-enabled, so that means it's auditable. And why is auditable so important? Well, if something goes wrong, remember that 14-day check of your home? the insurance company is going to want to know that someone was actually in your home checking on those things. So by that GPS technology, it provides the auditable trail, not only for the homeowner, but for an insurance company. It also provides me an avenue to do easier invoicing and booking appointments. The invoicing will be sent out on a monthly basis, and it interacts with QuickBooks. So it's going to do a lot of the back end work for my accounting. So we're going to place ourselves within the local community to acquire our customers. As I mentioned before, I am a member of the International Home Watch Alliance. I'm going to join BNI, great referral business, talk with the local realtors, HOAs, the Cape Coral construction community, and the Chamber of Commerce. So my personal investment so far into the business is about $2,500. I took the International Home Watch training, which cost me approximately $1,400. Card stock, printer, ink, various other marketing materials was about $700. I had my filing fees of $205. And so far what I have done on my website, setting up phones, other business things, about $276. So my 3-year projections. In year 1, I intend to work this business on a part-time basis as I build my book of business. In year 2, or between year 1 and 2, I intend on trying to get my home inspection certification so I can open up a new revenue stream. In year 2, I intend to work full-time, going from part-time to full-time, offering more home inspection inspections, as well as continuing with the home watch business. In year 3, I want to grow my home inspection business so that I can employ one person that can take over most of the home watch reporting. So my ask today is approximately $5,500, broken down $1,993.66 or $2,000 for my general insurance. Now I need general insurance, I need errors and emissions, I need pollution, and I need my bonding. I have to have those in order to open my business and take on my first client. I need the various tools of the trade, approximately $350. That credit software that is going to be our differentiator, we need that. It costs $600. The tablet. I like the International Home Watch membership because it provides ongoing training so that I'm up on current business practices, and $1,300 for the BNI networking. 2 years. Why 2 years? Because they provide you
Jason, I'm sorry, but that's all the time we have.
Fine. Thank you for your time and attention, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to your questions.
Yeah, you know, maybe I've got the wrong one here, but is that the same? It looked like the printout I had different numbers on it. Were there some changes made to that?
I changed it about 2 or 3 days ago. Which numbers were you looking for? The ask or the spent?
The breakdown of the ask.
The breakdown of the ask. Yes, I got rid of 2 things that I felt that I could fund in later years.
Right. Okay. So the total ask is how much?
$5,500, ma'am.
Okay. Just make sure, Tori, when you send it out to everyone, you send the right list.
Yep, they've all been updated.
Okay.
I think I see Gary's saying something, but he's muted.
Oh, I was going to say, good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
There's certainly a huge demand in Southwest Florida, and looking at in your business summary, the pricing that you have seems extremely reasonable. So I think with your experience and credibility, you should have plenty of customers to serve.
Thank you. I'm just starting with one. So let's just start with the first one and then move from there.
That's the way it works.
Absolutely.
No questions on my side. It was well written and well presented.
Very well.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate that.
Good job, Jason. Thank you for the presentation. It was excellent. I don't have any questions.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
I just have one quick question for you. So is it a annual, are you going to sell an annual subscription? Is it
I am
monthly or just as needed?
I am not, so it gets kind of confusing. It's not a yearly service. I read a contract, and it is an indefinite contract unless I, in writing, terminate the contract or the customer terminates the contract. I offer a bundle where you can pay for 6, 12, or 24 visits. And I do my pricing strategy based on what we call water zones. And that's basically bathrooms, because every home has a kitchen, so I don't count the kitchen sink. So if you have 3 bathrooms, it's $50. And then for each additional bathroom or an outdoor kitchen, I charge an additional $15 per visit. So dumb numbers, 50 times the 6 is 300, times 12 is 6. And then it's all prepaid. The 24 is $1,200. And then I offer concierge services, and what that really is if you dream it, I can do it, or I can probably assist you in finding someone who can do it.
Thank you
Jason,
very much.
I'm sorry if I missed this. Do you have a website?
I do have a website, and I haven't launched my business yet. I do still have some things that I need to work out. There are some things that are just picturesque. If you click on it, nothing actually happens. So I need to fine tune those things before I open the business. First and foremost is that insurance. That's the most important for me. And then I can actually do the business. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to be redesigning the website.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. You'll be successful.
Yes. Any other questions?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lynn Sullivan, and I own Travel with Ease. During my time in the Air Force, I was a Chinese translator, and I continued working for the government once I got out. I started Travel with Ease in 1992, built it up to having 12 agents, and then when my husband got transferred, I sold it. I'm more than just a travel agent. I'm more like your personal concierge travel. If you want to do it, we figure out how to make it happen. Private excursions, luxury dinners, whatever you want. If you can dream it, we can figure out how to get it into your vacation plans. I met Troy at a function in Fort Myers in 2019. And at that time, my business was profitable. I was doing really well. And so I asked him to keep me on file for his information, which he did. And people come to me because I'm knowledgeable. I listen to them, which is rare. And I sell them what they should have, not what necessarily what they think they need, because what they need and what I know is 2 different things. Travel has taken a hit in the last 10 years, in part because of the internet. People believe that if I buy it on the internet, I'm getting a better deal. Well, this isn't true. Travel agents are there for you. If you have a problem and you call Kayak or any of these other sites, they're going to sit down and say, well, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm not a travel agent. So with COVID, a lot of people found out that these people aren't there and they're not your best friend. And they sat on hold for days trying to get refunds. Even though 2020 came and the world as we knew changed it, I kind of used that time to evaluate the business and figure out where I needed to go. Travel has now been shut down for more than a year, and 70% of travel agencies have closed as of December. The idea of getting on a plane and going someplace is not that simple anymore. You have countries that have different rules, states that have different rules. And it's my job to know what those rules are so that when you call me, I can give you the answers. So while working on my branding and my image management, I also looked at my competitors. My competitors have the feeling that since they opened their doors and turned on their lights, people are going to come to them and do travel with them. And we know that doesn't work. It might have worked in the ball game or Field of Dreams, but not in real life. So I want to bring the agency up to the 21st century. So in our rebranding, we've updated things like our website. One of the things that we did was add the COVID tab. If you have questions about traveling COVID, you can click on the website and it is there. It's automatically updated. We also added a travel club, and the blog is there, and it's going to keep you posted on to what is going to be happening with travel with us in the future. The American Society of Travel Agents have predicted that travel will be $698 billion this year. And I'm looking to take a good portion of that if I can. So to bring our agency into the 21st century, one of the things, it's going. One of the things I want to do is Travelify. This is a really cool app. It's customized to the business, and it allows me to send my clients a proposal. It's in the palm of their hands. It tells them everything from if you need me to set up a car to take you to the airport, to your airlines, to your transfers, hotels, everything's right there. Once you tell me I can book this, it changes over into an itinerary, and things like your airline flights will be automatically updated as they get changed, because we know they're always going to change. The good news is travel's picking up. Just yesterday, I think it is, that the CDC says there's a good chance we might be able to travel on cruise ships starting in July. People are tired of sitting at home. We in the travel industry are using the phrase revenge travel. People are taking the items on their bucket list and moving them up because they're tired of not being able to spend time with their family and friends, and they want to get out. Okay, my target market is homeowners with incomes of 100,000 or more, and primarily because they are the ones that have the immunizations, they are the ones that have the time to travel and the money to travel, and their average age is about 55. Affinity groups is something that I love to work with, and especially not-for-profit groups, because I love to help them fundraise. And like veterans, they do some really good work with some of these different companies. I don't know. Okay. Marketing. One of the things I did, sorry, I'm confused. Marketing. I did these postcards at the end of 2019, and I had 6 bookings between, I think they went out in November. By January, I had 6 bookings off of it for trips to Alaska. So I know these work. I want to do this again. Target market it with Travel with Ease, with a call to action on the other side, and then mail it out to my target clientele. The post office and my suppliers say now is the time to do it because people aren't getting as much mail and they're looking at it and keeping it. I also want to use my car as a moving billboard, so to say, with the information about Travel with Ease and how to find us and how to get in touch with us. Sales projections were based off of we're not going to travel until November, but for 2021, sales at 47,000. I'm doubling it for 2022, and I'm adding another 25% for 2023, which for me is highly realistic based on what my numbers were for 2019. I did have an office and for about 2 years, had 2 people come in, decided to move it at home. So my fixed expenses are minimal. These are all I have every month that I have to pay for, or year. I'm asking for $5,807. One of the things that I really want to do, and I think will take and move both my agency and travel up a notch, is the Travelify app. They require us to sign a contract for a year. And then moving from an office to my house, a lot of the stuff that I had in the office doesn't work. So I need things like a desk with storage, Dropbox, because I'm required to keep itineraries for so long.
Hey, Lynn?
Yes?
Sorry to interrupt you. That's all the time we have.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, everyone's going to get a list of the requests at the end. We're going to send it out.
The request on the presentation looked reasonable from my perspective. One of the questions I have, the software that you're talking about looks pretty interesting. And does that software allow the itinerary to be held in the Apple Wallet on our phones?
It works on all phones.
Will it allow me to put the itinerary? You should check it. If you don't know the answer, just check.
Oh,
and
no,
see
I
if
know
you
the
can.
answer because I asked them when I went through all their training.
Right.
They said
So I can put it in my wallet.
You can put it in your wallet.
Excellent.
Right.
Lynn, what's your repeat business experience, either current or in the past?
I would say on average between maybe 40 and 45%, if not a little bit higher. People tend to stick with me because I give good customer service and I don't necessarily tell you what you want to hear. I tell you what you need to hear.
And Lynn, this customer service and the relationships that you've developed with these clients, that was in 2019 primarily, and prior to that when you had 12 agents working, et cetera?
Some of it is, yes, but surprisingly, even during the pandemic in the last couple of months, I've had a number of new clients which have come from Google.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
What do you see your growth? You going to go back to hiring people, creating an office, or do you like just the platform you're in?
I'm going to do the platform I am in, and I'm going to have independent contractors. I've learned from experience, employees are a lot of work.
Think of the love they return.
Yeah.
Well, we are hoping the travel industry comes back in a big way as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Skip Griffin, and I am Shaski Farms. I was born and raised in Key West, Florida boy. Joined the Navy to get out of Key West and retired from the Navy after some time in the Persian Gulf with some combat action time and came home. I've been wanting to be a farmer for quite some time. As a matter of fact, if you see my bio picture, I'm in my bib overalls. I was told I couldn't wear them today.
I want to change slides.
Shaski Farms is going to be organic, pasture-raised, GMO, soy-free. And we also have another added niche of raising only heritage breeds. People ask me what a heritage breed is. Basically, heritage breeds are the breeds that our grandparents and great-grandparents used to use before the farming industry got industrialized. And they started going for more production, faster growth rate, and unfortunately, flavor fell by the wayside with that. The problem that we ran into, that we discovered, was that if you go to your local grocery store, there are very few options to get organic, pasture-raised poultry proteins. Not only that, but in the majority of the cases, the poultry is being raised in a manner that gives them a very poor quality of life. Our solution is quite simply to raise them in the pasture, give them non-soy, non-GMO, organic feeds with the layers. And that's only as a supplement for the layers. For the rest of them, they're all going to be on pasture. Our distribution for this, since our target market is mainly middle to upper class, people who can afford to get organic and specialty foods. And I found that the best way to get to these people is by going to farmers markets. And so we're going to have distribution with the ducks and the duck and chicken eggs going through the farmers markets. Roasters are going to be roosters and drakes that have outlived their productive time for egg laying. And those are going to go primarily to the butcher shops. I've made a deal with Florida Fresh Meat Company and Orlando Meats to take anything that I cannot sell at the farmers markets, and then they will distribute it to the grocery stores. Since I'm going to be raising heritage breeds, there's also a demand for chicks and breeders. And that is not going to, I will not be shipping. I will be strictly having them come to the farm to pick up. Pricing. All of my prices are from the USDA pasture poultry report. It's a monthly report. These numbers are from the March 26th publication of the poultry report. And as you can see, that's fairly decent market. Production. At this point in time, being a one-man show, I can comfortably take care of 400 chickens, 400 ducks. And you can see here where we have our production per day, week. One thing that's going to happen is I will not be buying any more chickens or ducks after the initial buy, because I will be incubating and then returning some of the chicks to replace the layers. It's a fairly decent revenue stream, and one that actually surprised me when I found out. Our main competitors at this point in time, after going to the flea markets and everything, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of people that were selling eggs, yet I talked to the people that ran the farmers markets, and they were telling me that it's because nobody is bringing them in. In the grocery store, the people that I was talking about, we have Eggland's Best, Trader Joe's, and Aldi. Both Eggland's Best and Aldi use vegetarian feed. Chickens are omnivores. And Trader Joe's was selling cage-free eggs, which was very misleading to the customers, and they actually settled a lawsuit because these chickens that for Trader Joe's were not in, they were cage-free, yes, but they were still in a barn. They never touched foot on natural soil or grass, and they had to settle that lawsuit. Okay, for my financial projections, I am actually planning on having a net loss in my first year of production because I am getting my breeding stock grown and producing. However, in the second year of operation, my revenue goes up, my expenses actually go down, again, because I am restocking in-house. And in 23, the third year, that is that's even better. It's showing me to having about 115,000 a year. The startup expenses, 22,000. I have already, and as a matter of fact, that 3.2 thousand, I have already spent more than that just in the last week. I've added another $1,500 to what I have already put in for infrastructure and the animals. My ask, oops, time's up.
Yep, time's up, Skip. So if you just want to leave it on this slide, and then we can move on to questions.
Absolutely.
So I'll ask the 20,000 ask. Can you give us a very quick breakdown of that?
That 20,000 ask is for a down payment for the property for the farm. I live in Key West. There's not any farmland in the Keys. I will be moving to North Florida. I have a piece of property that I'm looking at. It's I'm asking for $20,000 as a down payment on that property. In my financials, I had put in that I had a lease of approximately $700 a month, and that $700 a month would be the mortgage payment on the property. There's no farm without the property.
Where is Lottie, Florida? Sorry.
It's in Bradford County, between Orlando and Jacksonville. That's why the counties that I'm going to be going to are going to be Orange County, Alachua County, Bradford County, and Duval County.
Okay. Okay. So do you have a contract on this property?
My realtor is in negotiations with them right now, no contract at this point.
So if you don't get funded today, are you going to move forward, or this is just you're going to continue to save your money until you can put down a down payment?
Well, I've already invested some money into this, and I currently have my animals up at a friend's house in Missouri who doesn't have problems with having livestock on her property. I will continue to move on smartly. I am going to do this farm in one way, shape, or form, but I need the property.
I understand. Good for you.
Well, thank you.
Skip, can you explain a little bit? I get the self-replenishing notion of your stock, your livestock, but what does and layers beyond mean? I need some help. Your write-up says my will be self-replenishing and layers beyond their egg-laying peak.
Okay,
layers?
Egg layers, the hens and the ducks, have approximately 1.5 years of production before they just don't lay as many eggs anymore. At which point in time, they would normally be going to the butcher shops as roasters. And
so we should think it's like a consumable asset.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, that's why my revenue goes up so well in the second year. It's when I start putting roasters into the market.
And does the public grasp your analysis of the competitive behaviors which are violating norms and legal practices? Does the public get that in understanding what you're offering, that you either have to educate them on the violations that they're doing, or on a more positive note that they grasp the value of what you're saying about your product?
My number one consumer is going to be an informed public. And there are many of those out there. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine told me that when I got this going, she pays more than she does for regular chicken at the store just to get the organic non-GMO for her dogs.
People that are into the organics will pay 50 to 100% premium for a pasture-raised egg. I know because I buy them. So I'll pay $6 instead of $3 for a dozen. And my wife really loves them. And so there is a huge market, and in Southwest Florida, but across the country, I'm sure. But there are a lot of very organic-centric, health-conscious people in this market that will buy your chickens and eggs and ducks.
And Skip, have you been in the farming? Have you been a farmer previously?
I've been raising animals since I was about 6 years old. Poultry, rabbits, fish. I've been raising animals for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And I also I'm always looking for bigger and better ways to do things, which is why I'm going to be going with regenerative pasturing, which actually helps with the land. It improves the land.
Great.
How many acres do you need to accomplish your farm?
Do I need to accomplish my farm?
How many acres?
It's 41 acres. Oh, what do I need? I'm sorry.
What do you need?
I would need, without having to worry about expansion, I would need to have at least 30 acres.
Okay. And do you plan to move to your farm?
Yes, I do.
All right, good morning. My name is Tomika Leverett. I am the founder and the owner of Meek and Mild Candles. We make candles that soothe the soul. I started making candles as a hobby at the beginning of the pandemic last year, just as a coping mechanism to deal with having to shelter in place alone. I found the process to be soothing, relaxing, and it's now my favorite thing to do. I made a few candles, sent them to some close family and friends, and they all came back with positive feedback, and they really enjoyed the experience of the candle. So that encouraged me to turn my hobby into a business. I applied for and got my LLC in August of last year. Once I got my LLC, I participated in 4 local vendor events here in Melbourne, Florida, which is where I currently reside. And meekandmildcandles.com launched November 1st last year. I was having a conversation with a friend who shared with me an incident that happened in his home. Him and his wife are both avid candle lovers, so they burn a lot of candles. They looked up at their AC vent in one of the rooms of their house one day, pictured just like the picture in the bottom right corner, and assumed that it was mold growing. So they contacted an HVAC specialist to come out, take a look. The specialist came out, took a look, and actually determined that it wasn't mold, it was actually soot. And the soot was built up just from the amount of candles that they burned. That really encouraged me while I was doing research on what ingredients to include in my candles to look for all natural alternatives, because with my research and looking at some of my favorite brands and favorite scents, that the typical wax is paraffin wax, which is a petroleum byproduct. So that introduces chemicals as well as toxins into your atmosphere, as well as the fragrance oils that are typically used. They're synthetic, they're made in a lab. That also introduces carcinogens into your home or wherever you're burning the candle. And carcinogens have been linked to causing cancer and just the overall low quality of a candle. Meek and Mild Candles wants to target avid candle lovers like myself, also people who have sensitivities and allergies to a typical candle. I have a friend I gave a candle to who was able to burn the candle without the typical headache or even breaking out in hives like he used to with a typical candle. Also, eco-conscious people, because we pride ourselves on using 100% all natural ingredients, as well as homeowners and businesses with white labeling. If looking on the screen, the 3 biggest names in the candle industry right now are listed. There's some of my, used to be some of my favorite brands to burn candles. The one thing that all 3 companies seem to have in common is the fact that they use paraffin wax and fragrance oils that are created in a lab, which again, toxins, chemicals, and can cause respiratory issues or aggravate someone who already has a respiratory issue. So Meek and Mild Candles wants to fill the gap where there's a lack of all natural candles. We pride ourselves on using soy wax, which is a plant-based wax. It's a cleaner burn than paraffin wax, as well as a longer burn. And we create our fragrances using essential oils. So again, it's all natural. And with using essential oils, we also have added an aromatherapy aspect to the experience with burning the candles. I am proud to say that every ingredient that I put in my candles, to include the containers that I use, are sourced and made right here in the USA. We offer a wide variety of fragrances to include seasonal. From launch of business to present day, it's a home-based business. Simply, I make every candle right here in my home. Like I've stated previously, we've participated in local vendor events in the past. We have not been to a vendor event because we wanted to focus on this workshop that we're currently in. It ends today, and we're slated for our next vendor event on the 24th of this month in Orlando. The website has been live since November 1st, which offers a chance to ship the product to you through the United States Postal Service, as well as if you live in Melbourne and the surrounding areas, we do offer local delivery. And lastly, we're getting into white labeling, which simply put is me allowing a business to advertise themselves using my product. There's an example in the bottom right corner with the FGCU logo. We are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We're also partnering with a few different nonprofit organizations to raise money for a few different causes, because giving back is near and dear to Meek and Mild Candles. We also have a newsletter that people can subscribe to. Building a subscription service that allows access to exclusive scents that are not sold anywhere else on Meek and Mild Candles. We've participated in e-commerce pop-up shops as well as referrals. I sell 4 different sizes of candles, but the 8-ounce candle seems to be the most popular size. It cost me $7.40 to make. I retail it for $15 with a $7.60 profit margin. It takes me about 4 hours to make a candle from start to finish, but within those 4 hours, I have the equipment that allows me to make up to 20 candles at a time. Our current yearly projections for this year, we're on track to sell 960 8-ounce candles. Total cost of goods sold that for the year is $7,104, with a revenue of $14,400 and a profit from that of $7,296. And 2022 and 2023 just shows an upward tick of today, Meek and Mild Candles, we're asking for $3,580 total. $2,080 of that would go toward, if awarded, would go towards the purchase of 1,000 8-ounce containers. That will allow me to have the inventory necessary for white label.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but we got to wrap it up. If you just want to leave this screen up, and then we'll move on to questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I'm here for any questions you may have.
It's great to see you start a business out of the tortures of the pandemic, and your presentation was excellent. You mentioned that you have the ability to make 20 candles in an hour at one time?
Yes, sir. From start to finish, it takes roughly about 4 hours.
4 hours.
And within that 4-hour time frame, I have the equipment right now to make at least 20 candles within that 4-hour period.
So about 5 candles per hour.
Yes.
Okay. And the equipment, is the equipment expensive to do that, or is it just having multiple components that allow you to do the 20 at a time?
The equipment is not that expensive. When I initially started, I was using 2 hot plates and like the double boiler method to melt the wax. But I took some of the money that I got from selling candles and invested in a wax melter. And it kind of looks like a crock pot, but it allows me to melt, I want to say 8 pounds of wax at one time. So having that amount of wax melted at one time allows for me to make more candles.
Still 20 candles. Excellent.
Yeah, great written presentation and great verbal presentation, and I like your strategy. I think that was well defined, and your distinction, your differentiation, I think is a good one, and can be easily marketed to the consumer. It looks like you got about 175 days worth of production to get to your 7,000 or something in that order of magnitude. What's your growth hope? What do you want this to be?
Right now, Meek and Mild Candles is, I do it part-time because I do have a full-time day job. So the hope within the next 2 to 3 years is to have the business, like the solid foundation of it, and have it grow to a point where I can focus on my business 100% of the time versus just here and there because it's part-time right now.
One of the things you might look into is all these formulas that you have, are they proprietary or are they available out in the, if I did a Google search, or do you have unique formulations?
No, the essential oils that I use for the fragrances, I order them from a company. They're already mixed together.
They are, okay. But the proportions that you use might be considered proprietary to you.
Yes.
As you go along, I'm not an expert in this field, but you might consider copywriting those formulas, and there might even be an opportunity for you to license somebody elsewhere in the country to make your product under your name and your brand.
Okay, thank you for that advice.
Excuse me, following Fred's comment, it occurred to me something similar, and that is because you started this as a solo business, once you get a year or so under your belt and have a track record, you might be able to sell packages to people all over the country that want to have their own candle making business, and they pay you a fee for the kit to get started.
Oh, wow, that is a great idea. Thank you. Write it down.
Tomika, I also was thinking, because you only have so much time that you can do this, but there are lots of kids or young people that are looking for internships and opportunities to learn from others. And so you might be able to find someone for a very small amount of money to help you in the process, because it's a fun thing to do at the same time.
It really is. Thank you.
And do you create any of your own essential oils at this time?
At this time, no, ma'am, I don't. I would like to in the future.
Mm-hmm. And what company are you using to buy the oils?
It's a company called Candle Science.
Okay.
I chose to go with them because they pride themselves on using all natural ingredients to create their fragrances.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you very much, and best of luck to you. It's
Thank you.
Great that you got this started, and you will do well.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Mr. Meek, I have one question for you.
Sure.
So as far as making the candles, do you have any current inventory on hand?
I do.
Do you? Okay. So I was wondering, as far as like a push-pull method of manufacturing, if you can only make or say it takes 4 hours to make candles, you have a full-time job, just round guesstimate, about how many candles do you have on hand in case a large order came in? And are they of specific scents?
I try to keep at least a handful of every scent, because I have a seasonal collection. It's spring, so there's 8 different scents that I sell for spring. And then I have an all-season collection where those are sold year-round. There's 20 of those. So I have a total of 28 different fragrances that I currently sell. So I typically will have at least 4 or 5 of each size and each scent to have on hand, because I'm not able to focus on this full time. So it does help when I have an order, I typically don't have to make the candles. They're like already, they're already made.
Inventory.
Yes, I just box them up and ship them out.
Excellent. So the only thing I would suggest is maybe take a look at the high sellers, the ones that aren't selling as much, reduce the inventory on that so that way you can have more operating income.
Yes. Thank you.
Great job, Tomika.
So, Tomika, I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, your website, easy to get to. I love it. It popped right up. But you have these baskets and there's 3 things. It looks like 3 things in the basket. Do you order packages or individual candles?
Right now, the platform that I use to launch the website is Squarespace. There were a few advantages to using it, but now that I've been up and running for a few months, there are also some disadvantages. So I'm in the process of switching to Shopify, which I think will further simplify like the shopping experience, because right now it's set up to just buy. You can buy like one individual candle, but I would like to offer, you know, for those that really do love the scent and you want them in different sizes. We also sell wax melts. You know, you can purchase it as a set. So it's kind of like you're save on money buying a set versus like the individual candle.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Another great day to be alive in the Marine Corps. It's another great day to be alive at Manganni Salvaticus. Wake up!
You're alive for all that.
Good morning, everybody. Judges, if I could just have you stand up or sit up, get your chest up, and get prepared for what I'm about to give you. Okay, good morning. My name is Alexander Leoni. I am a 6-year Marine Corps veteran, and I am the creator of the great Manganni Salvaticus, home of the savage sports. Now, the Manganni Jungle is an outdoor jungle training course equipped with rings, ropes, logs, tires, and more. The Manganni Jungle offers a variety of sports to compete in, from primitive ground movements derived from animalistic natures, as you see on the screen, to swinging like Tarzan from rings and ropes. I began planning this project in early 2017. I spent about 15 months in the planning phase before creating my first prototype, which is what you see right there on the screen, the Manganni rings, the mecca of the Manganni Jungle. They were the first manifestation of the creation of the Manganni Jungle. So they are my pride. Now, in the jungle, the ropes act as lianas, the logs act as representations of large branches for us to run on top of, and the tires simply facilitate our ability to climb the trees. So far, the prototype is representing about 30% of what the true aspect of everything that I have planned for what Manganni Salvaticus is going to be. Now, after about a year of construction, testing, and training myself on these ropes and rings, I invited a group of friends to train with me. Now, little did they know they were about to become the first Manganni tribe ever. And they set the bar pretty high up for everybody else. Now, since then, we've had about 200 visitors who have came into the jungle and have been swept off their feet. Pun intended, because you're in the jungle and you want to be up top, okay? And they have left with a smile on their face, full of energy and just thrilled with excitement. The Manganni Jungle is composed of diverse obstacles. They're maneuverable by any age and any fitness level. But our target customers are athletes between 18 to 45 years old. In the Manganni Jungle, community is our strongest pride. Okay, we take a lot of pride in operating as a unit. Our motto is one for all and all for one. And the Manganni train as a tribe. We emphasize on teamwork, team challenge, and personal growth and development. Our market's competitors offer individual competition, mass competition, and they're hosted normally annually or biannually. What the Manganni Jungle offers is an ongoing, continuous set of sports with progressional development. an opportunity to be part of the leadership hierarchy that we offer. Team competition and individual competition are our daily bread. We do it all in an open air, natural environment, which helps promote our health, our soul, spirit, and body. Now, our planet is being attacked currently. Our planet's societies are just suffering tragic health loss through this global COVID pandemic. Anxiety and depression levels are higher than ever before. Obesity is excessive. It's causing a lot of illnesses, mental and physically. And social distancing has created us into evolving into creatures of solitude, which goes against our human nature and our God nature. Excuse me. Now, we as a people are further from nature than ever in human history. Our screen time has escalated to, I think the average is about 13 plus hours per day spent on television, computers, phones, just screen time in general. This is the opportunity for us to once again serve our country by giving rise to the Manganni jungle and offering our communities the chance to recover their mental and physical state of being. The way that we best reach our customers is through social media and through word of mouth. And our customers become our members, and our members stay by the emotional atmosphere that we create, the jungle's environment, which is completely enticing, and the community, which we call a tribe. And of course, who doesn't like a good self-challenge? Challenges in the jungle, challenge even myself, and I created them. There's always one step higher that you can take yourself. Okay, excuse me. So we plan to grow organically. Organic growth is the best growth through special events, competitions, fundraisers, and of course, broadcasting our content, which we have some badass workouts in the jungle and everywhere we go. So we bring that spirit, and that spirit just leaks everywhere, and everybody wants to have a sip of that. Now, our estimation here is that annually we can be generating a revenue of over $115,000, including membership fees and those special events, fundraisers, and merchandise, and the Ops Village, which I'll be more than happy to speak to you a little bit more about afterwards. The Ops Village is simply a badass simulation town where we do operations like paintball and airsoft. And that is also dedicated a lot for our veterans, because what do veterans like to do most? We like to work as a team, operate as a unit, and we like to shoot things. Okay. Now, to bring the Manganni jungle to life, we need land to call home. Okay. So currently, these are our projects that we are going to implement. So we need the land, we need to clear it so that we're able to operate in it. And then the mecca of the jungle, like I said, the rings, we're looking at getting rings made of a higher quality. Our current rings are PVC prototypes. And you can see them right there on the screen. The one in the middle is the metal one, which is what we want to get made for higher durability and more security and safety. Okay. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Stay savage. Any questions?
Thank you for that exciting presentation. Thank you very much. Could you please go back one screen so we could see that? Where is this land located?
This land is right here in Naples. It's an agricultural property, which helps the zoning. The zoning for us is the most important thing. So, and this land here is, I even went out there and I already climbed all the trees just to get my sweat on them. You know, like when you cough on your food so nobody takes it. Like I went out there, climbed on the trees. The property is beautiful. That is where we want to build our jungle. And, we work a lot off of what the terrain has to offer. Mm-hmm. We want it close enough to the city where everybody's comfortable getting there. And we want it far enough that, we have the space available.
Whose property is, is that some, have you figured out who owns the property?
Well, we're about to own it. Whoever's selling it to us. This property is, Are you asking specifically for the
Are you
owners?
negotiating already with this?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay, so you've already negotiated a pricing and everything with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Alexander, how do you see yourself different from Outward Bound as a program?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Are you familiar with the program Outward Bound?
No, sir. Never heard of it.
When your clients come through your program or participate as a team or individuals, do you have any recognition programs that they can walk away with and say, I have a badge that got to level 4 in his program?
Yes, sir, we do. Yes, sir. I love the question. So we have different level obstacles in the jungle, obviously, you know, from beginner to advanced. And as you go completing them, you're able to get these tokens that let's relate it to a challenge point. You got that obstacle, you conquered that, and you get that under you. And you also have to earn your way through the levels of obstacles. You can't just show up as a beginner and jump on the most, you know, extreme one just to see if you can do it. You got to earn your way there. So by the time you get to take that challenge of that obstacle, you are already confident enough that you're prepared for it. And there's definitely takeaway. Definitely takes away.
And I'm sorry, did you tell us how much money you're looking for?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go back one more? Go back.
Absolutely.
3,000.
Back one. There you go.
Yes, the total was 30.
6, 5, and 3.
We're going to give you the breakdown. We're going to send it to you for everyone when this is done.
So basically, you're asking for 20% down payment, and then you're asking for the clearing and the permits and the items to make the property ready to put your course on.
I've already invested $75,000 in the prototype right now. I'll take all those ropes, everything that I have, and put it into the jungle now, the new one. But the only thing that I do need to upgrade is the rings, so that we have the better rings, basically. Other than that, just the land for us to be able to call home, something that we can say is ours and have that secured.
Is the seller going to finance the land for you?
We can negotiate financing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the $75,000 that you already invested, that's where we saw the before and after pictures previously?
Yes, ma'am, correct.
So are you utilizing that as a prototype right now? Are you generating revenue on that property?
Okay, so prior to this program, I began to bring friends and people out there and everybody who wanted to, a lot of people wanted to join and become part of it, but I can't run that as a business because it is my home. So it's in my backyard. Now I do live in the estate, granted, so I have 660 feet long wise by 150 feet wide. So I have a lot of property out there, but it is still my home. So I don't want to run it as a commercial business. Right now, we've been as low key as possible.
Alexander, the most critical part of your ask is the down payment, the $16,000. Nothing happens until that is crossed in the land negotiated.
Correct. Yes, sir. We're looking at grant opportunities as well, and that, as you just said right now, that is definitely the priority at the moment for us to be able to bring this to the community.
Do you have any investors?
The ones on the other side of the screen.
So you don't currently have any other investors?
No, ma'am, no.
Okay, and do you have someone that you're working with regard to liability insurance and the concerns there from just people getting hurt, things like that?
Absolutely, the best, only the best. My mentor, Kina Yoke, has referred me to the best insurance agents, and I'm talking to them in close relations. And if you guys know Kina, which I'm sure you guys do personally, she's very adamant about the safety and all of this. And so there's at least 15 insurance policies that we're going to have lined up for this. So absolutely, It's for sure real fun, but it is also real risk, real danger. So we are looking to get covered and create the most safe environment for our customers as possible.
Great.
Well, if your energy alone doesn't succeed, then perhaps money will help.
Okay.
All right, great job, Alexander.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate
Okay,
it. Good job.
Corey, are you going to put us in another room?
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, I just wanted, before we do that, congratulations.
Yes.
That did it. I'm going to put the judges into a breakout room now, and then we'll bring them back when they are done.
Yeah, and you did a great job working with them, Troy. You should be proud of yourself.
Yes, thank you all. You all did a fantastic
Yes.
job, everybody.
Thank you.
I just want to say one thing before we have the announcement on the funds. I respect everything you all have done and all the hard work you've done, and I want to congratulate all of you because this is not an easy time to be doing these kinds of things. So we just want to let you know that we're here and we'll always be here. So even though the program is done, we're still going to help you if you need help. Right, Troy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
It really was a great job. This is Fred Quinn, and trying to come up with allocating funds to such wonderfully presented and designed businesses is a real challenge that you've given us. So I'm going to go through the list. I'll start with Kevin. Kevin, we're offering you $6,000 toward your program, and hope that this is making a good dent in your marketing and other efforts. Tom, we'd like to have a little bit more work done on developing your business plan, a little more depth to it. I think you're off to a great start, but it can benefit by a little more fleshing out and depth and detail to it. But I think you're on a good track. Keep it going. Dan with Mobile Vintage. I'm going to go buy a vintage car now that this award is being given. We'll be funding you at $3,100, and that should take care of the toolbox and the protection that you need for your truck. Ismael, Penn, Pest, we'd like to give you $5,000, and that puts a bit of burden on the company that will have to come up with the rest, but we want to hear back from you on how that goes. It's a novel approach here in South Florida, and we wish you great success. Damien with Messiah Designs, $5,650, and well done. You have a great concept, and you're off to a great start, and good luck with that future. James, we really need to get a little more understanding of the target customers that you're off and how your platform plays into that. And I know when you get together with Amy and Troy, there'll be a bit more flesh to my comments. But I think, again, you're off to a good start. We just didn't fully grasp all of the elements of the business model that you're trying to create. Dan and Penn's Designs, we're awarding $3,000 to your company, and that hopefully should make a good dent in getting that electrician and other things paid for. To Tyler, $2,923 for Level Up, and that'll get you your weights and mats and things that you've said you needed, and good luck with your enterprise. I'm back, let's see, I'm with Jason. Jason, our award with you is $3,000 for Hero Home Watch. And again, a great business model, off to a good start. And hopefully that takes care of that gridded software and the insurance and things that you need there. Lynn, like you, we're all ready to travel, and sooner the better.
Our offering here is $5,000 for your business. And by the way, I love the way you do your logo with Travelese. I thought that was very clever. We hope that'll help you get those apps that you described as in your business needs. Tomika, again, great job. We're offering you $3,580 and wish you the best of luck in further developing your candles in your market. Skip, we love your idea. Apparently in the judges group, you got a lot of fans for the kind of products that you want to bring to market. We simply don't have the funds for a full funding of land acquisition, but we are setting aside funds for you that if you'll meet with the team, Troy, Amy, and Dr. Kawanui, on how you might develop a strategy for land acquisition other than just the outright purchase. And when you develop that strategy, come back to them. We have some funds that may be helpful to acquire, property either by lease or other methods. And we wish you luck on all of that. There is funds though that you could use necessary for adding to your livestock if that was a need.
Yeah, we set aside some of the funds for that. So there is funds been set aside, but we have to make sure you get the land first.
And to Alexander, we all loved your enthusiasm, think you're going to have a great idea, but we'd like you also to consult with the school's leadership, Amy and Troy, Dr. Kawanui, on the strategies for land acquisition. We all wish we had the kind of money that would be available to help you specifically in that land. But if you'll develop a strategy with them, there is some funds to help you with the expenses of executing a strategy for land acquisition. So again, applause to all of you. Great job. It's great to live in Southwest Florida and in Florida with such talented people.
Great job, everyone. Congratulations.
Well done. The presentations were all terrific.
Yeah, and Jerry said, you'd be glad to talk with some of them if they have questions too,
Exactly.
Right?
I think, James, if you want to reach out to Jerry, he's expressed his willingness to help you and your plan here in this mental health platform you're creating.
So James, the Sandra and the group there have my email and my phone numbers. If you want to reach out to me, they'll give you the contact information, and we can have some. We'll share some email conversations together.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey, before everyone gets off, I just wanted to say a couple of things. First off, thank you so much, judges. Adria, Fred, James, Jerry. We appreciate you guys' time so much. I know for a few of you guys, this is your second or third time judging, or maybe more. I think Fred, you've done it a few times now, but we appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. And the feedback you guys provide for the program, for the vets, it's so valuable to us, and we're listening to the things that you have to say. Also, I wanted to thank Veterans Florida, for helping us with putting this program together. They provide us with a grant every year that really helps us operate and and accomplish our mission here. We have Jeremy Sinemaki on the phone or on the call right now. So, thank you to you. He's the Veterans Program Coordinator for the state. So he oversees all of the programs. Earlier on the call, we had Roy Clark and Jeff Obos. They were both sitting in listening. They're with the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs. So we're glad that they were able to make it out. And then some of our donors, the Southwest Florida Community Foundation, and specifically Frank Stern, we appreciate everything that you've given for the program. The Schultz Family Foundation, also saying the donors have helped out for multiple years, and also Fred Quinn, he's also helped out with funding for this program, so we really appreciate that. Our mentors, you guys are such an asset to this program. Like you provide so much valuable feedback to the veterans and help them get pointed in the right direction. So Keena, Ron, Michael, Scott, Gary, Mike London, Becky, you guys are all, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you. And then the interns, Stormy and Andrew, like you guys have been great. Like you help me manage it, you bring me in, you help me organize my thoughts, and like you're a huge part of the success of this program. And we all, myself and the vets included, we all really appreciate you. And last but not least, I wanted to thank all of you guys for putting in the effort and doing great the past few months. And it was great being able to build a relationship with all of you. And the way that you can show thanks is by going out and being successful. Like follow through, and if you need help, don't ever forget we're here for you guys. So so come back and talk to us if you need help, and stay in touch.
Yeah, once you're a student of any kind, as far as I'm concerned, you're a student for life. So
that's right.
Wonderful.
Okay.
That's all I had.
All righty.
All right. Great job, everyone.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.